On this episode of Taskforce Geek, we welcome comic artist Nathan Wells and talk about his Kickstarter for Heartland Blood. We also talk about where Dungeons & Dragons is most popular in the United States and the upcoming controversy over who is going to be the next James Bond. That starts very soon. Plus, we catch up with Scott and CaseyJane, and that's all coming up now. Welcome to Taskforce Geek. I just blew the whole thing. Today I'm joined by Scott. That's okay. That's because I added Robert in the middle of the thing. And Sean. And the surprise is that we have Robert.
Isn't he like a mainstay of the last like 3 or 4 episodes?
Not really. Well, that's also the joke. We have Robert again.
Yay.
And he's
this is like our
here.
lunch with Rob segment.
It's lunch with Rob.
Yes.
What are you going
Dinner
to have
with
for
Rob.
lunch? What are you going to have for dinner today, Rob?
I'm actually, believe it or not, I'm about to chow down on some lovely Hawaiian pizza from Bubba's 33. So as
Okay.
soon as we finish, that's what I'm doing. So,
I don't know what that is, but Scott, do you know what that is?
That's like
You hang out there.
it's like a Texas Roadhouse offshoot of like junk food, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
Bubba's 33.
yeah, that's kind of bar food. Yeah.
I went there
burgers,
before.
pizza.
Me and Jennifer went there, met some friends from work, and we were not impressed one drop. Now that just means we might have grabbed the wrong things on the menu. So
But yeah, the pizzas are only $9.99 on Tuesdays, so it's a pretty good deal. So, and now I've got like half the guys I work with roped into. We ordered like 5 pizzas today, so yeah, there you go.
So you're basically doing pizza delivery. That's really what's happening here.
This is true, which I did for 7 years of my life anyway, so I'm a natural.
they made you go get it?
Oh yeah, I ordered on my app, so I get everything just one order, boom, it's good to go. So.
Whatever. You got stuff to do. You make somebody else go get it.
Wow.
This is true. I do have plenty to do. Yeah, you're right. I should be making a
Dude, you're on a really important show. Did they not understand
Yes,
that?
I know. Well, they do. I ran the pizzas in, and then I ran right back out, and then realized I didn't have a link, and I needed a link, and there I got pizza.
All right. Well, you're here, man.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about how the Kickstarter's going, please.
Kickstarter's going well. We've kind of leveled off a little bit, which is kind of natural after you make your link, or you make your goal, and then now we've posted up the campaign, and we're in a pretty good spot, but we'd obviously like to do better. Launched the stretch goals, and we have those going. If we reach 1,000, we'll be doing sketch cards for every backer, which is going to be a lot of drawing, but I look forward to the challenge, and I've got several people who have committed to that, Dirk included, as well as Joe and myself. If we get to 1,300, we'll be doing a portfolio.
One.
Okay,
Scott will do
cool.
one.
Yeah,
That's one less. That's one less that everyone else has to do.
This is true. And then after that, a compiled sketchbook. If we get to 1,600, that'll be like basically a bonus comic full of sketchbooks, and sketches, and ideas and things of that nature. And then also, I'm still continuing with my posting of original art, add-on for the tiers, either for existing pledges or for new pledges. So, and then it didn't get inked yet, but there's a little teaser. I don't know how well you can see that.
All right, just hold
the
it
bad
still.
candy piece.
Yep,
yeah.
Good. Up,
Yeah,
hold
the
it
bad
up.
candy piece that I'm.
Up. Thank you. Good.
Yeah.
Go there.
So, there we go, something like there.
There we go.
But that's what I'm looking. That's what I was looking to do for. So I got it roughed and got it planned out and was planning to hit the inks, but got a little sidetracked. So, but that will be posted up later on this week for purchase, and we'll hopefully keep things going. The first one that we did got snagged within 24 hours. Second one's still sitting up there. So if you saw it last week and you liked it, it is still available as an add-on for either, like I said, existing pledges or for a new pledge. So.
Robert, you went to OFCON over the weekend. You want to talk about that for a moment?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I think we talked a little bit about it with the preview thing, or before we did it. But this time out, it was everything that I'd hoped it would be. It was a lot of fun. It's a show about comics. It's an old school Comic Con. It's all about comics. There's no celebrities, no cosplay, nothing. It's not very much not a multimedia convention, so it's kind of nice. It's kind of refreshing.
And you're not competing against Marvel Comics.
Yes, exactly.
You know,
and it's all
Marvel
indie
Comics
stuff,
doesn't have a booth. DC doesn't have a booth.
Exactly. It's just, and that makes it a lot of fun, and it's good. It's a good time to meet. And also network with your peers. There's a lot of really, really great people that I got to talk to this weekend. People that maybe I hadn't, some of who I hadn't seen since pre-COVID. So literally been a year and a half, 2 years since I saw some of these people, and it was really great to just spend some time. Make a little bit of money. The show itself is geared towards the indie people and allowing you to make money. And so had a really, really great time. Saw way too much stuff that I wanted to drop fortune on, but fortunately didn't spend too much. Hung on to my pocketbook.
I heard there was a 4.0 copy of Batman #2 that somebody wanted 10 grand for, because somebody came into the store Sunday and was really trying to talk our owner at Wizards Asylum into going over there and buying that copy. So
wow, yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. There were some amazing finds.
So 4.0 is what, on a scale of 10?
yeah, out of 10.
Yeah,
And so Batman 2, even at a 4, which doesn't sound so great.
No, but I mean,
10,000 or
that's what they said. I don't know if that's true. I'm only going by what I overheard.
Yeah, but I wouldn't surprise me. I remember
I actually kind of butted in on the conversation. The guy was like, "Hey, you gonna go over there and get that?" And the owner was like, "I don't think so." And I was just like, "Go get what?" And they were like, never mind." And then I was like, "Oh, you think I'm gonna go steal it from you?" I was like, "I don't know if you know this, but I am a father with children." And they're like, "Oh, I guess we could tell you. It was a Batman #2. They want 10 grand." And I was like, "Well, holy hell! I just got that in my back pocket. I'm gonna go over there and steal it from you." I was like, I kind of got
the worst nightmare there, man.
I kind of got sassy with them about it. I was like, "Oh yeah,
hard to believe.
like somebody has 10 grand just laying around."
I'm disbelieving.
Don't tell me about that 10 grand comic, because I might go steal it from you. Get out of here.
Robert missed out on the Tim Vigil page, right?
Yeah, I was very bummed about that. I was very, very bummed about that, because didn't get set up my table, and I was minding my table, and everything was good, and then somebody shows up and goes, "Oh, look what I got," and I'm like, "You gotta be kidding me!" And if there was any way, heck, there would be a Faust #4 original art from issue #4 in there, and then I was like, so sick that I missed it, but well. I was willing to put that on the charge card. That would have been something I would have easily done.
That is fate helping you out, Rob.
Yeah, I know. That's the way I got to look at it. At least I still got the money in my pocket, but it would have been nice to have it. But anyway. So
Betty says hi. Walt says Scott.
Hello.
Hey, Walt.
And Brian says, Scott, you're doing awesome. Only Scott.
Yes, awesome. Good job, Scott.
Rob, are you doing, or I'll throw this to the panel, is anyone doing Inktober this year?
No.
Flat
out, no.
Was that the most absurd thing I've ever asked?
No, I'm just saying, like.
I mean,
so I'm glad you brought this up.
Yeah, go ahead, man.
Because me and a guy at work who kind of doodles. And he's always like, "Oh, your pictures are so awesome," and all this stuff.
Yeah,
anyways, he asked if digital pictures, and I noticed because you were doing digital print stuff, and he goes, "Does that count?" And I said, "I don't know. I don't know, like, in the heart of hearts, if, like, Inktober is supposed to be all, like, handcrafted stuff. But at the same time...
We got you guys coming up soon.
But at the same time, I don't know. I think it's really just an exercise to get people to draw. I don't know. I mean, y'all know better than me, because Robert's done Inktober a few times and done the Creationary thing. I've done it one time 5 years ago, and it was not the easiest thing in the world, and I wouldn't consider my stuff that good that I did. But I'm a working dad, 2 kids, everything else. So it's not hard. It's not easy to every day go produce something that's inked. At least I didn't think so, and I didn't miss a day, and I was always on time. But
that's good.
It was not easy. So
I'm 3 days.
I'm not doing it.
I am doing it. I'm 3 days behind, but I have a couple in the hole. So I'm a little bit more, further ahead than people know.
So what he's doing is taking that digital art and he's like scribbling out 2020, and he's putting 2021.
I promise you, I don't have artwork from years ago. I'm not that. I wasn't that prolific. I'm much more prolific today. But to answer your question, Scott, officially, when it began, you had to do actual ink, brush, whatever. Also, like, markers didn't count. You had to use ink on paper that's what Inktober was, or forget it. You're out of the deal. Then there was as with everything on the internet, there was a big revolution. There were some people died. A few nations were burned to the ground.
So all the wussets said, no, this other stuff counts. I'm using my markers.
And so now, yes, you can do digital inks. You can use markers. You can paint it, whatever it is that you want to do. Anything goes, basically. And additionally, some people go by the actual official Inktober list, and then some people have.
That's what I did. I did that.
Other things like the David Finch has like a Finchtober or something. Like there are 100 lists out there, and so you can choose a list, or you can just. For me, it's just a challenge to try to produce something quickly each day, and see what I come up with. And the last time I did it, it accelerated my confidence and my style by quite a bit. So I'm going to. That's why I'm trying it this year. But if I don't get 30 out the door, it's okay. I'm not going to beat myself up about it.
I believe the original mission statement was just to get people to draw every day.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. And for me, it was something that I've done off and on for pretty much the last 5-6 years. But the problem with it is in the last couple of years, I've obviously had Bad Candy, Halloween horror comic. So usually there's lots of things going on. And so I was really good about doing it, completed it fully 2 full years. 1 year was just what I wanted. Second year, the next year was all the prompts. And so, and then usually, because then there's a couple of months where but basically since I started doing Bad Candy on the regular these last couple of years, I'm usually so busy in the month of October that honestly I can't do it. But I may do 1 or 2 pieces just because. But obviously I'm busy doing inked pieces for the Bad Candy Kickstarter at the moment. So as much as I'd like to do it, I don't think I'll be participating very fully. But maybe I'll do a couple of pieces. We'll see. So.
Rob, give us the tour of Bad Candy 3 real quick, and I'll let you go because we got a couple of people on deck.
Exactly. So Bad Candy 3, it's a horror comic, love letter to 80s horror cinema is kind of what I like to refer to it as. We're in our 3rd issue. It's going to be a 4-issue miniseries. Featuring artwork by Joe Evans and inks by myself and based off my story. We have a whole ton of other little odds and ends that are going through there and lots of contributions, three different covers, as well as additional add-ons with art and things of that nature. If you like horror comics, horror cinema, then please check it out. I think we've crafted something that is definitely, people respond to it. People really, really enjoy it if they like horror. It's one of those things. And then other people just appreciate it as well. But it's definitely a love letter, so to speak, to that genre. And if that is something that you're interested in, then please go check it out. Consider supporting it. We would love to have your support. We'd love to make some of these stretch goals so that we can bring to life some of these projects. Sometimes you have an idea for a project and you're like, oh, this would be kind of neat, but you don't really know where exactly to fit it in. Well, sometimes the idea is to do it as a stretch goal, and then that helps bring that to life. And I would love to bring to life some of these, the sketch card project or the sketchbook or the portfolio. There'd be a lot of things I'd like to do. And so please check it out. If you're so inclined, please support us. And we appreciate all your time and support. And the backers who have already backed, thank you so, so much.
All right, Rob, we're going to let you go eat your pizza.
Yeah.
All righty, I will do that. So I will enjoy it.
Dude.
What do they call those people that like hustle drugs? They like bring them camel. You're like the pizza camel. Is that what you
it's
are?
usually a mule. It's a mule, but
mule.
Right.
I'm sorry. Okay, you're going to be known as the pizza mule from now on.
I like
I'm sure
that.
he appreciates that.
I think if I was delivering pizza, I think I would actually consider getting a vanity tag that said that. That would be cool.
Pizza PCZAMULE. MUL?
Yeah, exactly. Why not? MUL. There we go. Pizza mule.
Robert, watch like the part where we talk about maybe something that we read and liked, because I'm going to have something that you will want to own.
Right. He's probably going to be back at work, but
probably be back at work, but that's okay. I'll try to catch it up.
You can catch it on the rerun, man.
Watch it later.
Yeah, all right, dude. We got to let you go.
All right, guys. You take care. Have a good show.
All right. Take care, man. Bye-bye.
All right. Good night.
All right, now we are joined by our guest, which is Nate Wells. Nate, how you doing?
Hey, I'm doing good. How are you guys?
Oh, you sound great.
Yeah, bro, you can't come in here and just
Holy cats! What?
I sound like a very handsome man, and you can't just do that and take over.
What?
Fine.
What is going on
guys.
here?
My dad's in radio. I picked up a few tricks.
We'll let that go.
And we're also joined by our buddy Michael Pickard. How you doing, Mike?
Hey, everybody. Thanks for having me again, Dirk. Scott, great to meet you. Sean, great to see you again, man.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we're going to go to our feature presentation here, and here it comes. All right. We are going to introduce comic artist Nathan Wells, who we've talked about before on the show because of Michael Pickard, probably on several occasions. We have already, looked at and grokked your work.
Oh, thank you.
Do people grok anything anymore?
I've never even heard that term.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you making something up? Are you trying to be trendy?
It's like, no, if I was trendy, I'd say it slaps.
Oh,
My art does slap. Thank you.
I think my children,
I'm hip. I'm groovy.
my children say that's sick. Like, oh, that's sick.
Yep.
Dude, I was just introduced to fire not too long ago. So
It's fire.
I don't know where.
Sean,
Nate's
Sean's-
art is fire.
Yeah, fire's already out, dude.
Thank you. The best compliment. Thank you.
All right. Well, let's do the official bio here. Nate Wells is an illustrator and designer living in Texas. Where in Texas?
Waco, Texas.
Oh, Waco. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
While studying graphic design at Texas Tech University, Nate began a career in cartooning at the school's newspaper, the Daily Toreador, where he worked as an editorial cartoonist. Nate now works in the fields of comics, film, and music posters. That's cool. Sequential art, storyboards, and concept art. Nate now co-hosts the Drink and Draw podcast, Ink, Drink, Think, with Michael Pickard, someone we've heard of before. Johnny Wise and Todd Blackwood. And Nate is currently illustrating. He puts Nate in his bio. He has your bio, which is Nate is currently illustrating the 4-issue miniseries Heartland Blood, the first issue, which is now fully funded on Kickstarter. Congratulations, guys!
Oh, thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Heartland Blood is written by Michael Pickard, known for Ink, Drink, Think. We just talked about that. The graphic novel Ultramax and the upcoming Duckbill. Did you guys take a look at Duckbill by any chance?
I've got it downloaded. I haven't had a chance to look at it.
I've flipped through it. I have not. I haven't read it.
We're going to cover all of that stuff. This is really Nate's guest thing, but I wanted to bring Michael back on to stump for another couple of things. But we're going to focus on you first, Nate. Tell us a little bit. Let's see. Let's start out with. You told us you were from Waco, Texas. Being from Oklahoma, we've been to Texas many times. That's why I was curious. Tell us about your history with editorial cartoons, please.
So I went to Texas Tech, where I studied graphic design, and I saw that the school's paper, the Daily Toreador, was looking for a cartoonist, and I was like, I need a job. And they said, this is not a paying job. And I said, I'll take it anyway, and I'll get another job on top of it. So I got 2 jobs in a week. One that was a boring job at the library that paid so that I could pay my rent. And then the other one was the editorial cartooning job, where it was 2015. And so it was right as Donald Trump and all of that was starting to heat up. So it was a great time to jump into the political comedy scene. And
you had all the material you needed, huh?
Yeah. And it was a really good time. I learned a lot. I hate all of those cartoons now. I think I'm a much better cartoonist now than I was when I was 19, 20 years old. I met Art Spiegelman when I was doing that.
Wow.
Briefly. I got to have a little lunch. He came to campus. I got to have like a little lunch with him. And unfortunately, somebody showed him some of my cartoons. And I don't think he loved them. But he said, you draw Donald Trump too much. It's too easy. You gotta get away from Donald Trump. And I said, how? And then he left. So I just kept drawing Donald Trump for like 2 more years. And then I graduated. But yeah, it was a really good time. Developed my style a lot as a cartoonist. Just getting to do those like 1, maybe 2 panel images, because those are all about the joke. The drawing can suck.
Right.
That's so true.
Yeah, the drawing doesn't have to
Often-
be good,
often
but
that's
I
very
got
true.
to develop a lot, and I don't use any of it now. Unfortunately, I reference the hell out of my work now, and don't use that sort of loose style. But I still look back at those days sometimes, and it was a lot of fun.
Hey, tell me about. Wait a minute. Why are we getting dings? Do you guys hear dings?
I think you're going insane.
Maybe I am.
I don't hear dings.
Perhaps I am going insane. This could be it for me. Tell us about Heartland Blood, your Kickstarter, please.
Heartland Blood has been a lot of fun. Mike Pickard right here, he wrote it. He said he's been working on it for a long time. I don't know how long, a couple years, I think.
Yeah, it came about in 2019,
Yeah,
and just briefly to set you up I'll lobby it up for Nate. He can tell his half of the
Thanks.
story. Was that I thought of the story in the summer of 2019, and then totally forgot about it throughout all of 2020, and then January of this year, I was on a phone call with Nate. We were drunk, pitching comics back and forth to one another, and I was telling him about this. He was like, "That's pretty good," and I was like, "Yeah, I can't draw it right now though because I'm busy with Ultramax. Do you want to draw it?" And Nate was like, "Sure." And so I wrote it for Nate, and that's how the collaboration began.
Yeah, I was worried that I was going to take something away from you because you'd been working on it since before I knew you. But like you said, you were busy, and I was very eager to draw any pages. And then you sent me the script, and I was like, "Oh, wow, this is impressive." As someone who's not an established writer, I thought the script was very impressive. It's one of my favorite scripts, if not the favorite, my favorite script that I've ever worked on. For a pitch, let alone a finished product. And I was, really grateful that he allowed me to draw it, and that he was so collaborative with this thing that he sat with for much longer than I've known it. But it's been a lot of fun drawing, sort of hick redneck vampires torturing a family.
I like
I'm
that.
excited to get into the rest of the pages now that the Kickstarter is funded. I'm going to get to draw at least the first issue, and I couldn't be more excited to delve more into that world and develop a little bit more of the visual of that world that Mike's crafted in the written page so far.
To the rest of the panel here and to people who are watching, please feel free to ask questions to Nate if you have any.
So, Nate, I'm looking at your art right now. I'm assuming you do your own colors. Is that correct?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
I always thought that I would work with a colorist. I wanted to have a cool, kind of constant relationship with a colorist, but I'm not there yet. I don't have a name that would garner like, hey, this guy's always going to do my colors. So I learned to do them myself, and I'm constantly learning more about coloring. I've got a few colorists that I always look to. But yeah, it's a lot of fun to kind of delve into that. I'm getting much more comfortable with it now, and I'm proud of the Heartland Blood colors for sure.
Yeah, I start to say you should, because like just some of the mood that you're giving on some of these pages that you give for a preview and stuff is like really stands out.
Good.
Just
Thank you.
setting the mood, and then you get to this one scene where you're using all these blue shades of blues and stuff like that, kind of conveying a nighttime scene, and then you have this red thing that just pops right in the middle of the page, so it doesn't go unnoticed. And from an artist, I'm really impressed too. From like, you do what we're supposed to do if we illustrate comics. Give us different angles of the bird's eye view, the worm's eye view, all these different angles and stuff that sometimes we get scared to do when we try to draw some, comic book type of scenes, So anyways, I'm very impressed. And let me tell you something else I'm impressed about. I don't know how I'm doing the math over here, and I don't want this to come off weird. You guys are over $4,000. You have 147 backers. Mm-hmm. By my math, if somebody jumped in on the $15 pledge, you should only have about a little over $2,000, which tells me that people see your work. They want the normal cover, they want the variant cover, and then they want this other deal that has the sketch cards. So that means they really believe in what you guys are doing, and I think that's very impressive. So congratulations on that, because this is really cool.
Yeah.
And one thing that I've said it before and I'll say it again. I get like how it's hard to do independent comics, especially with Kickstarter and stuff. And it's also hard to sell somebody on like, here, buy one physical copy of my book for $15, or you can pay 10 and get it digitally. I'm very impressed that you guys are like doing this. You get a physical copy for $5. I mean, that's for a guy who's a dad who has kids and has to feed these teenagers. That's in my price range. So anyways, hats off to you guys for thinking of like all your tiers of people here, you know, because somebody else might just go, hey, I want the $15 thing because it means more to me. But for somebody like me, I don't try a lot of, you know, Kickstarter comics just because you read it for 10 minutes, or probably me 12 since I'm a slow reader, and then you kind of put it up and stuff. And I enjoy comics. I love comics, but I usually don't keep a lot of my comics. But this is all good things is what I'm saying. So if I'm telling our listeners, if you're out there watching, it's only $5. I mean, there's not too many Kickstarter comics that are only $5. Now I'm sure there's shipping on top of that, but that's fine with me. You know, I always hate the ones that are like $15 plus you got to pay shipping, you know. And so anyways,
we wanted to,
I'm very impressed.
Thank you. Yeah, we wanted to keep it in the range of kind of what you can go to the comic book shop and get, you know, because we're unproven talent. This is sort of a first venture.
You say that today, but I want you to come back on when you're proven talent, okay?
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, we wanted to keep it in the price range of what you can get comics for, and just, you know, try that out instead of asking, you know, $20 or whatever for a digital issue. You know, just we wouldn't want to pay that for a digital issue, and so we didn't want to ask that.
Right.
Yeah, like when we were first marketing the book, I remember I put it on Reddit and somebody came back to me and was like, "You're offering these books for $3 for the digital? Like that's cover price. Like, are you sure you're going to be able to make your funds with it?" And I was like, "I believe in the product enough that I mean, I would want, if I went to the comic book shop and I saw a no-name title like Heartland Blood by two guys I've never heard of, I wouldn't want to pay $6 for a digital copy, but $3, sure, I'll try it for $3." And that was kind of like the incentive to come in and then you pick up the book or you look at the sample pages that Nate did and you go, "Oh, holy shit, this is amazing."
It's kind of an offer you can't refuse.
Well, it's I always tell people, you know, like I love supporting the little guy, I really do, but it's better for me to catch them at cons because I can walk up to their table, I can flip through their books. If somebody's a jerk, I walk away, and if they're a nice guy, I go, it's not for me, but it's only $5, and I walk away with it, you know. And I can get 4 or 5 books for the same price. I could go to this one Kickstarter that's $15 plus shipping. So, like, I get it's a hard market, but I'm really impressed that y'all. I thank you for offering that for like us common poor dads. So
yeah.
Let me
we're
bring,
right there with you.
Let me bring CaseyJane in here. How you doing, Casey?
Oh, hello. I'm good. How are you?
We're good. We're talking to Nate right now, but we're going to get caught up with you here soon. You said you had a new setup.
I do. I have a mic now. Well, a better one at least.
We're going to go all over that here pretty soon.
Sorry to interrupt. Just got home from work.
No, cool. You're a working girl.
We're talking comics.
We're talking comics.
Per usual.
Nate, tell me who your artistic influences are.
Oh, I feel like I'm pretty basic when it comes to artistic influences. When I was younger, it was, you know, like the cool guys, you know, like Jim Lee. I loved Todd McFarlane. I really, even when I was young, really liked John Byrne a lot.
That's cool.
There was a guy who drew Superman in the 90s that I loved, Tom Grummett.
Wow.
Yeah, big.
That's
Tom
a deep
Grummett
cut there.
fan.
I like that.
Yeah, big Tom Grummett
for someone
fan.
your age.
Yeah. Jerry Ordway, all the Superman guys.
Okay.
But then as I got a little older, I remember picking up Batman Year One when I was in middle school or high school.
Are you some like vampire? Are you really like 47 and you look like you're 21?
No. Just love me some 90s Superman.
All right.
Man, you like the old school Superman stuff. That is amazing.
Yeah, big Superman.
Mullet hair Superman? Were you mullet hair Superman?
Yeah.
Me too.
That's what
mullet hair
when I was
Superman.
A kid. That's what he looked like when I was a kid. He just had a mullet.
Yeah, it was great.
I didn't know any better. But yeah, then I was in high school or middle school. I picked up Batman Year One and found Mazzucchelli. and I didn't
Wow.
really think I liked it, but I kept looking at it, and then I got into college, and I had just had this trade of Batman Year One, and I was like, there's something good going on here.
Dude,
and
I see
Mazzucchelli just got me into.
Mazzucchelli in your stuff. Definitely.
Oh, thank
That's
you.
the first
Oh,
person
thank
that you mentioned that looks like what,
Yeah.
in the same kind of ballpark.
Definitely not drawing like Tom Grummett.
Yeah.
But yeah, Mazzucchelli got me into Sean Phillips. I'm a huge the Ink Drink Think guys. Mike knows this. I'm a huge Tommy Lee Edwards guy. I've learned a lot about brushwork from looking at Tommy Lee Edwards. Guys like Sean Crystal.
Yeah, these are good. You're naming a lot of good guys here.
Paul Azaceta is a guy that makes it look simple, and of course John Paul Leon.
Lost too soon.
Absolutely, just an incredible talent. But guys like that, I could go on. But
there was so much talent in that old Milestone line from DC Comics. I mean, that's where you. Yeah. Oh my gosh,
Dennis Cowan.
Dennis Cowan. Yeah.
Chris Cross. You already said Tommy Lee Edwards, John Paul Leon.
Yep.
So many good things from that era.
They had a lot of energy on that line. Absolutely, it's good stuff. Let's talk about your Ink Drink Think podcast for a second. Let's not get past that without stumping for that.
Yeah, that's Mike's baby. I was happy to be along for the ride. We're looking to maybe try some new things with that. Me and Mike were actually minutes before.
So do y'all get drunk every episode, Mike? Do you get drunk every episode and clothes start falling off? Some of us do.
Johnny will occasionally come on shirtless or half button shirts.
Wow. Wait a minute.
Dirk, this is just up your alley.
Shirtless podcasts?
Yeah.
Get undone, yeah.
Dirk likes the shirtless part. I like the getting drunk part.
Well,
yeah, no, it's a fun show. What happened was in the pandemic, my girlfriend every day was just getting her ear chewed off from me about comics, and at some point she was like, you need to go find people to talk about this with because I've had enough. And so I just happened to have followed Nate, our friend Johnny, and our other friend Todd Blackwood within the couple months prior to my girlfriend kind of yelling at me for this. And I was huge fans of their works, and fortunately they had followed me back and liked what I was doing with my own comic book art. And so I hit them all up and I said, hey, I'm thinking about getting this comic book podcast together to hang out and talk and draw at the same time, and then maybe have a few drinks along the way. Would you guys be interested? And sure enough, we started this podcast in August of 2020, and like that, we clicked. People were commenting things like, oh, have you guys known each other since college or anything like that? We had talked on the phone maybe 2 weeks prior to our first episode, and had only messaged one another maybe 3 months prior. So it's like I've said before, the comics community, you click with the people of your tribe.
Sure.
Nate and Johnny and Todd, we all just kind of formed this little group that we kind of just meshed instantly, and the chemistry was all there. And we still, though the show is on hiatus while we're working on making comics actually happen.
Right.
The thing that
right after I subscribe to it, it goes on hiatus.
See?
Yeah, that's
see how they are
just for you.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
It's so help a confused guy. Is it a podcast or do you do it on YouTube?
It's on YouTube. It's a pre-recorded show, so it's not a live stream. But we're I said, we're talking about changing things up. We might try to do a Twitch stream.
Okay, I guess so. You do show the video of you all talking and all that.
Yeah, actually, we actually draw on the podcast.
I just wanted to make sure because I know there's some podcasts that say they're on YouTube, but it's nothing but vocals. So that's why I was just kind of curious.
Yeah, not audio only.
Okay.
Yeah, actually, we're exclusively on YouTube at the moment, so it's a video podcast. But it's for showcasing our artwork as well as connecting people in the community. We've made a lot of connections just by bringing people onto the show. Like our close friend Matt Battaglia, met him through the show. He came on, and that's where we actually got acquainted with him. And he's he's our fifth Beatle, as we'll call him occasionally. Yeah. But yeah, it's a fun show that we even though we're not recording it we still meet at the recording time every week and hang out, have drinks, talk about what we're doing and whatnot. So yeah,
it's cool.
Hey, let's get back on Heartland Blood for just a minute. I'm going to bring this up, and hopefully it doesn't crash my computer. Your goal was 3,500, and you're setting it at 4,106. We basically have what, 3 days left, 2 or 3 days.
Mm-hmm. Yep,
Left
it ends
on
Friday
this.
morning.
Yeah, 3 days or so. Yeah.
How does
Two-
it feel?
two and a half.
Okay, how does it feel to fully get funded? I mean, what was that like?
Incredible. Incredible. We can't thank everyone enough that just threw money at this thing.
Mm-hmm.
The response was, I mean, baffling in some ways. People are buying a floppy for more than it's worth, much more than it's worth. But yeah, very generous people.
Yeah, absolutely. It was honestly so honoring that people believed in Nate and I enough to get us to this point where we're actually going to be able to produce the book. It's like a guaranteed thing that's going to happen. Everybody's pledge is going to be fulfilled. And it's truly an amazing feeling to know that 147 people believed in us enough to make this book happen.
Hey, those are good numbers. 147.
Yeah.
I mean, for a Kickstarter, those are good numbers. I mean, you can really build on that. You still have a little bit of time. Is there any stretch goals that people can help you get over?
Well, we had potentially talked about doing some stretch goals, but Nate is busy with some current projects he's wrapping up at the moment before
I understand.
Heartland, and I've got my own other comic endeavors as well that's going on. So we weren't able to set up stretch goals, but if you do want to support the book and get us further past this goal, the more money we raise for this first issue, we'll be able to put towards the second issue. So
There you go.
hopefully,
That was my next question. Is this a one and done type thing, or is this it could go on forever depending on the funding, or what's your long-term plans for Heartland Blood?
So
Ideally, we got 4 issues, right?
Okay.
yeah, it's plotted as a 4-issue mini, a trade paperback ideally. And when we get to the 4th issue, hopefully if the followers who backed this book follow us through to the end, and anybody who jumps on along the way really enjoys the book, hopefully we'll be able to collect it as a trade of all 4 issues when it's done. But
Nice.
I think that it's a testament to how well things do on Kickstarter if they're horror comics. That you guys, it seemed like it kind of happened suddenly that you guys got funded, and I was really glad to see that. We're looking at some of your artwork here. This is great stuff, and look at the
Thank
color.
you,
I mean,
yeah.
I think Scott was talking about how important the color is on this, and how good you are at setting mood.
Thank
can
you.
definitely
Yeah,
see that with this.
I'm super excited to get into the rest of the pages. Like Mike said, I've had a project kind of to work on in the intermediate between launching the Kickstarter and then, seeing if we were going to get funded, if I was going to have to do the rest of it or not. And I've gotten to kind of I've had kind of a safe place to just practice different things with the project I'm doing now.
Hey,
so I'm
Pops.
very excited to get into the rest of the book. I think it's going to look really, really good. I'm so excited to jump back into this world and just start throwing ink around.
Thanks, Pops, for chiming in. I'm going to be on his CromCon podcast here at the end of the month. I'm looking forward to it. It's real cool stuff. If you guys should get over there to his group and check that out. It's awesome. This guy right here, I love the pants off this dude.
Oh, he's great. Yeah, that's my favorite guy.
That is
Yeah,
not
that's
your standard looking dude.
Yeah, that's I can't
really
remember
brought
if
it
that
with
guy's
you.
Lloyd or Dale. I'd have to look at the script. It's been a minute. But yeah, these guys are spooky. Just lurking around the barn looking for a small child to eat.
Keep scrolling down.
Everyone- okay.
I want you to go to the black and white sketches at the end.
Sure.
Because no matter, and people are going to hate me for saying this, but I am a giant fanboy for capes and superheroes. Even though I love the independent books and the different stories, I'm also a big fan of like superhero stuff.
Is this what you're
I
talking
would,
about? Keep going.
Batman.
well, this whole stuff, just kind of go through
All
this
right.
stuff kind of slowly, but
Yeah,
yeah,
just tell
I
me
mean,
what
like,
you want me to do here.
see,
Oh, that's nice.
and these nice things, yeah,
Yeah,
there's
really nice.
Yeah,
from
that
both-
one's actually
from both of
that's
these
going to
guys.
our friend
Yep.
Matt Battaglia. He's got his name on that one already.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
yeah, it was Batman Day, and I messaged Nate, and I said to him, "What if we just put up some Batman pieces? You know, vampires, bats, Batman Day. You know,
Smart.
we'll put them up as add-ons and see if anybody will buy them." And people
Smart.
did. People turned out to grab them.
Okay, so these were part of the Kickstarter as well?
Yes, these were available. There are actually 2 of them, I believe, are still available. I know my Batman
I think
Beyond
so,
one, that
yeah.
was the first one, is still available. But if
Okay.
you pledge to the book and you put it as an add-on, you have the option to purchase one of these original pieces of art.
Oh, okay. Awesome.
That's
So
awesome.
these are all hand-drawn stuff. This is not digital?
All
yeah,
original.
everything's hand drawn. Yeah.
Wow, even the comic stuff. That's impressive. Yeah, that's beautiful.
How many pieces do you guys have here? This is great.
Yeah, this is
They
great.
really like Batman.
Yeah. Who
Let me-
doesn't?
Batman sells.
Hello, Maxine.
For a guy who loves comics, and yeah, I just admitted that like I have like a weird, comic book boner for superheroes. I love seeing this stuff. I love seeing the stuff that you have in the actual Kickstarter, and then I love seeing this stuff. And like me and my girlfriend are kind of a nice hybrid. She doesn't want anything to do with superheroes. I want everything to do, and then we share good stories together.
Hey,
So
Jerry.
like it's a
Jerry
it's
says
a
hi to
good
Casey
thing.
Jane.
Hi, Jerry.
This one's nice too. So,
All right,
anyways,
can I ask
I'm impressed.
Can I ask a possibly dumb question?
No,
Sure.
no
How
dumb
does this-
questions.
How does this like work with like copyright and trademark?
These are just sketches.
Okay.
Yeah. If you do a one-off on something, you can sell it. If they did prints on this, they could be in trouble.
Gotcha. Okay. Sorry, probably a dumb question. I just like didn't
No,
know
not
how
a
that
dumb
works.
question at all. Not a dumb
Why? You want me
question.
to you want to commission me to do a Batman picture for you, Casey Jane? You got it.
I really like bats.
He really does.
Not Batman. You like bats.
Just bats.
I like all the
Casey
above.
Jane's. Casey Jane's the girl that would go out with Man Bat before Batman because he's a giant bat.
Well, Heartland Blood might be the book for you, Casey, because there are a lot of bats in that book.
We've got
Ooh.
bats. We've got bats.
I was saying, I think I have about 30 bats tattooed on me as it is. So
There you go.
Wow, that's a lot of bats.
I know.
She's batty. I had to do the dad joke.
Wow.
You're
good.
so
Yeah,
funny,
that's good.
Scott.
Wowzers. All right. But before we scoot out of this, let's talk a little bit about Vance Launchpad. Let's do one last, Hail Mary for Vance Launchpad, please.
Yep. So Vance Launchpad is my concurrent Kickstarter to Heartland Blood. 2 projects I've written, illustrated by 2 other co-hosts from Ink Drink Think, but Johnny couldn't be here tonight. But the daring exploits of Vance Launchpad.
He's about 7 hours in the future from us right now. So it's
Yeah,
like,
7 hours. I think
2 or 3 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, he's 6 hours from you guys, 5 hours from me.
you
So he there was no chance he was
I
going to
get
make
it.
it with his day job.
I get it.
But the story follows Vance Launchpad. He's a space hero in the vein of Adam Strange, Buck Rogers, Flash Gordon, who, by circumstance on an adventure, ends up in a time loop that puts him 20 years in the future. And by the time he gets back to Earth, his son is the same age as him. And the whole city has gone into chaos. It's a sci-fi dystopia in the vein of, modern dystopian literature with Judge Dredd kind of influence, Terminator influence. And then Vance, the pulp hero, has to team up with his son in this dystopian setting to kind of fight the evil robot mafia that's taken over. But the book has 3 days left on Kickstarter, people, and we are only at 30% funded. So please, if you want to see Johnny Wise's incredible sci-fi
shame.
story come to life, please support Vance Launchpad. As I've been saying, light up that jetpack and get Vance off the ground, because that book needs to happen. And we're only 30% funded, so it's not looking too great for us to actually make the book happen. So,
Yeah.
Seriously, you're gonna want to do it, guys.
Yeah, Michael, I'm actually really shocked because when
I am too.
You came on to talk about this Vance Launchpad. I thought it was a slam dunk. With that knowledge, what's the difference between Heartland Blood and Vance Launchpad? Meaning, like, what maybe if you could do it all over again, because maybe you've learned something from one over the other, did you not necessarily drop the ball? Is there just a different method maybe to marketing them or grabbing the reader?
I have a theory on that.
Is there anything you've learned, I guess is what I'm saying.
oh yeah, absolutely. And I mean,
Like
I've
are the sketches what threw you over on the other one, because people saw those where the other one doesn't have that. So I'll let you talk. I'll shut up.
No, you're totally fine. that was actually the thing that was the big carry forward. So like with this next Kickstarter I have coming out next week, that's my solo work. I'm pretty much duplicating all of the strategy we used on
Dude, you're
Heartland
insane.
Blood. Yeah, I've got a lot
Yes,
going
he
on.
is.
You, sir, are insane.
Yeah, I'm hoping people follow me for it because it should be pretty good. But yeah, with Vance Launchpad, I really think that the one thing that may have given Heartland that leg up on it was the fact that Johnny works almost exclusively digitally now, and so we tried to offer a print to entice people on that same level as the sketch cards.
Yep.
But you know, the original art factor of a sketch card, and it's literally hand done by the person who did the book. There's such an enticing appeal to that I think it really helped Heartland up front. Like
we sold out of the sketch card tier in the first day, so people were really, really excited about that tier. But I like you, Mike, I would have thought the same thing, that the small print would have been just as good an offer as that, because it's a really impressive piece of art. You know, that little what are they called?
Yeah, the
factory
villains
models.
Yeah, the villains are the factory models who are like a misassembled
So
group
many
of
good
robots.
ideas in this.
Yeah,
It's
Vance
so
Launchpad
good.
is one I'm
Such
really
great
proud of.
artwork.
And yeah, Johnny's work was just outstanding. And Nate can even attest to this. When we started putting out the promo imagery for both, I mean, of course, there was a lot of love for Heartland Blood, but Nate and I were even saying, like, people were really excited for Vance Launchpad. And it's just a shame that
I was a little sad off of it, you know, because people fucking loved Vance. And there was love for Heartland Blood for sure. But I was like, oh, I'm really gonna have to beat Johnny here. We're, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't
Sometimes the
understand it. Like you
competition's
guys,
good.
I don't understand it either. You know, I really don't.
And people were calling me a madman for running 2 Kickstarters concurrently, but I truly believed in both Nate and Johnny's appeal as artists, like let alone me in the equation.
I thought it was a slam dunk, to be honest.
So did
with
I.
you.
Yeah,
on both projects.
Very, very good project for sure.
Yeah, I don't think it was anything to do with, you know, the fact that they were both running at the same time, because, you know, I don't think that was a factor in why one overperformed the other. Like, I don't think Heartland, to use a vampire pun, like sucked the focus away. You know, they were both right there side by side. It just happened to be, you know, the circumstance of what happened.
Is it possible that this is a difference in genre, that it just comes down to horror is a easier sell on Kickstarter than you know, science fiction or, you know, concept type stuff?
It might be. I mean, I know that of course there's a lot of superhero stuff on Kickstarter because of course it's comics. Superheroes are synonymous with it. But I think there is something to be said about the fact that there aren't a lot of horror comics, or at least up until maybe like 2 years ago, horror comics weren't a huge mainstream thing at the indie publishers, you know, Image, IDW. And so Kickstarter was really that route for like, okay, sci-fi is being published, you know, Saga, Decorum, Jonathan Hickman's book. Like those things were getting published. And where was the avenue for horror? Crowdfunding. But that might have something to do with it, but I don't have any market research or numbers at hand to, you know, make any assertions or claims.
Sure.
I know in the film world, if you want to get in, do a horror film.
Yeah.
It costs nothing.
But in that case, they're cheaper. Right. They're cheaper to produce. But they, you know, you can make $300 million on a good horror film. What's next for the two of you? I'll go with Nate first, since he's our main guest.
Heartland Blood #2. That's
good answer.
That's what's next. Heartland Blood #2.
People that are supporting it will love to hear that.
Yeah, thank you so much for supporting the first issue. We've got #2 coming right behind it.
There's
more
the place to go.
more
It's still
vampires,
running
more
for the next
family
2.5
drama.
days.
Yeah, go out and
Get in on
grab a
it. It's
Batman
$6
piece. We've got a couple of them
$5?
left. $3 for the digital and $5 for the physical.
Come on, guys. That's a
you can't beat it on a Kickstarter. So it's going to be it's a good one. It's a good one on Kickstarter. So Mike's done an incredible job writing the script, and you're going to want to see the story played out through the 4 issues that he has planned. So.
Don't even talk about my part of it though. Your artwork on it is what's really bringing people in though. Like don't knock the art.
Great
The art
stuff.
is incredible.
Just
Nate,
doing
it's
what I
great
can.
stuff. Sincerely, it is great stuff.
Oh, thank you.
It impressed me. You're a storyteller. And I don't say that lightly, because there are some really, really great artists that are not storytellers. They can't tell a story to save their life. You're a storyteller. That will get you far.
Thank you.
That will get you far. And I'm a big fan of David Mazzucchelli.
Well, yeah.
And I see that sort of stuff in there. I think you could be. Vertigo's not around anymore, but I could see you working for something. Projects like that. So Michael,
Thank
better
you.
treat you right, because when the word gets out on you, I think that the sky's the limit. Seriously, it's really good stuff.
Thank you. That's incredibly kind of you to say. And Mike, I am gone as soon as a better offer comes along. Just so you know.
Wow.
Well,
There you go. There you go.
that's
Look at
okay,
that.
Nate. As I said,
Got
I was
him.
just riding your coattails. I was drifting behind you, and then the second you lose speed, I'm flying up behind
He's
you.
read
Wow.
Superman.
Right.
He's read Superman his entire life. He's gonna Lex Luthor you just as soon as he can.
Wow.
You see this?
Seen it
right.
coming.
You see this head, Nate? I am your Lex Luthor.
Not the Lex
That's
Luthor
right.
he read. He read the way he had those flowing locks, and before he lost the hair.
Flowing red locks.
There you
Right.
go. Because yeah.
Flowing red locks.
Can I say something real quick?
Sure.
So the Batman picture that I wanted, it's the Batman in a coat, is still available, and I'm buying it right now.
Hello.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you. I've got that one in a drawer right here. So
I'm sorry,
yeah,
I
it'll
saw
be
it was
happy to have it
available
to
still,
home.
and I'm currently purchasing it because I want
Yeah.
it for my wall.
Do you have it right? Why don't you pull it out there? Show her
I
what
do. Let
she's-
me see
she's
if I
buying.
can.
Yeah, Nate, pull it out.
Whoop it out.
Let's
Please, hey.
see what we
Live
got
on
here.
camera.
You got to put it really close to the camera.
Wait a minute. No.
That's it.
Here we go.
It's
it.
so pretty. I just love that.
That is a great piece.
That is
you.
a great piece.
Thank you. Yeah, kind of a golden age Batman. I watched the story of this piece is I watched the last Conjuring movie, and I just thought, what if Batman was in it the whole time? Which is not what you want to think really in a movie. I think Johnny Wise, one of the other Ink Drink Think boys,
Yeah.
we were talking about it after I watched. He said, "Yeah, it's a sign of a bad movie if you're watching it thinking, well, what if Batman was in it?" I don't know, but yeah.
This movie
And
needs
so
some
I-
Batman.
Hey, I'll be
Right,
at
I
the
spent-
Conjuring House this month.
Yeah, I spent 4 hours drawing a piece because I just wish Batman was in that movie fighting like whatever. There was like a witch or something.
You know what? I
Uh,
guarantee you the next Batman movie that comes out, someone was thinking exactly the same thing. They just kind of inserted Batman into it. Looks like a
Right.
David Fincher film.
It is
Yeah,
supposed
what if
to
Batman
be,
was in Seven? You know,
It's supposed
Exactly.
to be if Batman were 7, yeah.
It has been officially purchased, ladies and gentlemen.
To both of you,
Well, thank you so much.
I really enjoyed your Batman sketches because this is somebody who just finished up the latest Batman Black and White series from DC that just came out this year. So they feel like they belong in there. So like that's a good sign. So
Yeah.
That is
Well,
too
thank
high of
you,
praise,
thank you.
Scott. Thank you so much.
Hey, CaseyJane, thanks for pitching in on this thing. You want to talk about?
yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much.
Of course, no, thank you. But
That
like,
is-
'cause so on my wall, I have a bunch of art that's just either I commission people for it or just like mostly like small artists. I'm not saying that's like you guys, but like I love just like custom
That's us.
pieces. So like no, but like I love custom pieces of art. So I have them all on my wall. So it's gonna go on my stream wall.
I think you.
Well, thank
I think
you.
you
So excited.
invested well.
I think so as well.
I think the stock
We'll be
on that
happy to
piece
have a
is
new
going
home.
up as we speak.
I'm just so happy it was available because when you showed on the screen, I'm like, oh, I really like that one.
Yeah, good choice. That's awesome. Well, that's awesome.
Also, this is the first comic I ever bought, just so everyone's aware. I've never bought or read a comic before. Let that be known. Let
All
that be
right,
Honest.
Her first book is Heartland, people.
this
There
is
it is.
good. This is good
There
stuff.
it is.
just lost points, Casey Jane. You got to read.
Wow.
You already know
You
I
got to read.
read books, just not comics.
Tease
You already knew that.
Got to tease you.
Shell says you should have an audiobook and have Nate Wells be the voice.
Ooh.
Oh, thank you, thank you.
How about that? You said
I
your dad was
appreciate
in
it.
the business, right?
Yeah, he's a radio guy. So
I'll be back. My cat's annoying me.
You got your
Tell your
you
cat
got
I
your
love him.
pipes honestly.
All right.
Different
did,
pizza
yeah.
rolls.
it's genetic.
All right. Let's see. One last thing. Let's talk about what you have coming up next, Michael.
So next week, October 13th, I'm dropping my first ever solo book. I've written, illustrated, and lettered, and graphic designed, and
Good Lord, man.
sweat over my
All of the
upcoming
things.
book.
You're
Duckbill.
insane.
I'm trying to make comics work, so I'm going to do whatever I can do. But oddly enough, when a minute ago we touched upon Batman meets Seven, that's actually kind of the loose pitch for the story. It's kind of in tone. What if Adam West's Batman stumbled onto the set of a David Fincher movie?
That's a good way of describing that.
Yeah, it stars a ridiculous-looking costumed hero as he navigates a dark, gritty, crime world. And he's solving this gruesome murder of a bunch of severed fingers that are found in a fish. So just for reference, here's my favorite page of the book. This is a car chase scene that goes down. Those are some of the bad guys in this universe, the Firework
awesome.
Brigade. But there's the titular Bill himself. He's just a man in a duck costume who can fly and do ridiculous things with his powers. But it's a crazy book. It's not for everybody. It's not a parody. I've been asked before whether it's a spoof, and I want to make it clear it's not a spoof.
It doesn't read like a spoof.
Yeah, there's a lot of themes of duality in it. So I was there's a lot of heady, Grant Morrison-y ideas in here that I was trying to play with about duality, and one of those was juxtaposing, Walt Duckbill. Juxtaposing the ridiculous visuals of Adam West Batman. It's a cloth suit guy with ears.
Scott's putting comments in here.
Thanks, Scott.
Thank you.
Stumping for the book.
But yeah, Duckbill is the first issue of hopefully 6, all written and illustrated by myself. There's a digital Zipatone, so if you want to check out those pages, they're going to be going up on my Instagram and Twitter in the next couple of days for advertising.
Yep.
But this is the first issue. It's completely done. So I'm going to.
I've read it.
Oh, thank you, Dirk. Yeah, I was going to say.
So I can vouch for it.
I'm going to be putting out the book at a low price in terms of what I'm asking for the funding goal, because the book's done. I'm just essentially selling it and funding the creation of it. So making sure I had like a page rate essentially. So if the book doesn't get funded, it'll go up on Comixology at some point, but I'd really rather prefer that you go check out the Kickstarter, because I have sketch cards that are coming out for it. There's going to be some original artwork of my own, like this Batman and Deadshot piece I drew this morning. That's going to be available for sale as well. Kind of like what Nate and I did for Heartland Blood. So there's a lot of fun stuff you can get for the Kickstarter. So please check it out. There's a following pre-launch page you can check out for it. But next Wednesday, everybody, Duckbill #1.
I read all of. Did you read it, Scott? Did you say you read it?
I did not read it. I went through every page though. So
okay.
I'm kind of torn. Usually, if I like something, I don't want to read it digitally, to be honest with you. So, like, I saw the artwork. I'm interested. You got me. I'll wait. I'm just not I'm an old man. Let's just face it. I don't want to read comics digitally. I want to hold it. I want to smell it. I want to feel it. So, I don't even know if I like doing digital artwork myself. So, like, I just rather have the physical thing in front of me. So,
well, it'll be for $5 next Wednesday, Scott.
All right.
I will say that I read it and really enjoyed it. I thought it was cool. I thought it was a very interesting combination of tone. You've got you've got a guy who finally is like a main superhero character in a book that I think I might be able to pull off at Halloween.
Oh, I would love to see that, Dirk.
And it's kind of absurd in some ways, but also kind of a interesting kind of whodunit, kind of procedural, cop story. Obviously, several of the characters have a lot more, history that you allude to in that first issue, and it kind of comes to a head at the end. I'm intrigued. I read right. I mean, I blazed through it. It kept my attention the entire time. Again, Michael, you are also very good at storytelling, and that's the greatest compliment I can give you. I mean, you have panels that are not designed to be pinups. You have panels that are designed to tell stories, and I think that's in many cases a lost art, and I think that you understand it. You get your medium here, and I think that this is yet another interesting entry into. I mean, I don't know. You got 12 other comics you're going to come out with next year, or
Yeah.
like issue
Like
one.
the idea, man.
Are you going
Yeah.
to by yourself have like an entire line of comics, or what's the scoop here, man?
Well, Nate and Johnny were talking about.
You've heard of Stan Lee, right?
Right.
That's-
Right.
Well, as Nate and Johnny and I have talked about, we're all under 6 foot, so we're talking about making an imprint called 6 Feet Under as our
Yep.
imprint line, and have our
Okay.
our corner box be a little grave or something, a coffin. But you heard it here first. 6
That's
feet under.
amazing.
Johnny's part of that
That's
too.
amazing.
6
That's
feet under
pretty good.
comics.
Yeah. But who
She
knows?
says she wants to hold it, feel it, and smell it too.
See, I'm not the only one.
I love that idea. 6 feet under. That is fantastic.
pretty
That's
good.
great.
It's pretty good. I think we're on it.
Well,
As if
keep
you
an eye
need a
out for it.
feature,
Walt
you can
wants
also
to
have
see me
5
dressed
feet
up as
under.
Duck Bill.
Derek, we'll do that as a stretch goal. If we get to a certain
There
amount,
we go.
we'll get a custom
Yeah, there
costume
we
made
go.
for you.
Wow.
God, you
a
might get me
great
to back
idea.
a lot of money if we can take pictures
Yeah,
and humiliate him. If it's about humiliating him, I am ready to do this.
I will fly out to see this in person.
Wow. Let's just say you're going to do that as a Kickstarter next week.
Yep, next Wednesday, October
So you're not even
13th.
taking a break.
No, sir. I'm rolling into it. I've done a month of Kickstarter crowdfunding for 2 books, and rolling into the 3rd with this next
And you're
one.
like, let's
Grind
go for
never
another.
stops.
Yeah, now that Heartland's funded, I also have to write issue 2 of Heartland, and I'm going to have to write
Right.
issue 2 of Duckbill, and probably I'll start the art for that this month as well. So
How fast
some
are
stuff
you,
going on.
Michael? How long does it take? I think I asked you that before. How long does it take you to do a page? You're doing everything on Duckbill.
yeah, so in terms of penciling usually takes me about an hour and a half to 2 hours per page.
Wow,
Inks, I pencil very loose. Sometimes I have to pencil a little bit tighter, and it takes a little longer.
that's fast, man.
But
That's
inking
fast.
can take me a little while, probably 3 to 5 hours, roughly, depending on the complexity of the page.
Okay.
And then for lettering and the digital work, it's probably another 3 hours total. So there's a fair amount of time going into each page. But considering I'm writing, lettering, digital coloring, or digital zipatone, everything on it, it's worth it.
Man, I respect that. I respect that speed for sure. Let's go through some stuff here really quickly for Nate Wells. There is the main website for Nate. He's on Instagram and Twitter real quick. And the book for both of these cats is right there. Kickstarter, Heartland Blood. Go over there and bid on it. CaseyJane is already snatching up original art, so you
I'm
better
so
get over there
excited.
quick.
She's throwing money at us. I appreciate it.
You had
It was available and I wanted it.
you picked a really good piece there, so good job on that.
It's so pretty.
Please let's not
Thank
forget
you.
Advanced Launchpad, please. Someone, look, there's someone out there who's sitting on fat wads of cash. Like, if they wanted to just, like, do you have a donate thing, like where someone could just push you over the edge?
Oh man, it would be a huge jump with 70% of the funding, which I think is roughly. I think we're sitting at we kind of need 2,600. I think at the moment to hit.
Someone's
the
got
funding goal, so-
$2,600 out there.
Yeah, that's
If one of
chump
you
change
lo-
to someone.
Someone's got it.
Someone,
I mean, come
yeah.
on.
Someone's got it.
To one fan of sci-fi,
Billy Gates, I know
and-
you're watching.
and
Right.
Grumpy Brits like our
Yeah.
friend Johnny Wise.
Jeff Bezos,
Bill
where you
Gates
at?
loves Taskforce Geek.
He He watches and loves sci-fi comics.
He spent
So-
He
more
went to
on
space.
he spent more on socks last week than that.
That's probably
Right. Jeff
true.
Bezos is Vance Launchpad, so buy the book.
Right.
Jeff Bezos.
Yeah, come on.
Hey, it could be an Amazon original. Jeff, hit me up.
It could
please.
be.
It could be an
Why
Amazon
not?
original.
He should just take the sales that he got
should
from
be.
New World and just put it straight into the Kickstarter.
That would be wonderful. I actually bought a lottery ticket last night in the hopes that a Powerball ticket that maybe if I hit, I'll be able to fund Vance Launchpad. But
It could
Didn't hit.
happen. It could happen. Yeah, Walt's calling you Mr. No Doze or No Days Off. No Days.
Yeah.
Lots
a lot
of
of work.
caffeine.
Oh, yes.
Is there anything else that you guys want to say on this subject before we move on to the next part? All right. Hey, thank you guys. Good luck on both these. I mean, Heartland Blood's good to go.
Thank you.
Let's say I'll say a prayer for Vance Launchpad, and Duckbill looks good, man. So
Thank you so much.
Hopefully that have some higher price tiers so people can, if they just want to support you, they can just throw some money at you. Maybe put one good thing that Robert did was have like alternate covers. He is get like his average thing is $30 because people are getting all 3 alternate covers.
Oh, wow.
So it helps you. Yeah, I mean by a long shot. Like his average is $30 on a $10 comic.
Jeez.
So, and that's just because people want to collect all the alternate covers. Just saying.
All right, Nate, we've got something to discuss. You draw in Duckbill potentially then.
I will do that. I'll do that.
Yeah, let people throw money at you because when it's only $5 or $6 to do it, someone can support you, but you got to give them something where if they got fatter wallets that they can help you out. All right, we're moving on to the next part. All right. I know Michael can't stay forever, and I'm not sure about Nate, but you guys are welcome to stick around as long as you want to. And but if you need to leave, that's cool. You can leave anytime you want, whatever you want to do.
Yeah, I was actually going to jump off after that, but Dirk and the crew, thank you guys so much. Casey, thank you so much for supporting Heartland at that level. That was incredible. Thank you so much.
Oh,
Unbelievably grateful for that. But seriously, Taskforce Geek and the fandom, thank you so much for the last month. I've shown up here 3 times, and you guys have been nothing but the most supportive people I've ever met in my entire life. So thank you guys so much.
You're like the Rick Jones of like Taskforce Geek. So
Rick Jones.
You just can't get rid of me.
That's funny.
But seriously, thank
you
you
either
guys
get
so
that
much.
or you don't get it. So
Hey Scott, what does that mean?
Oh, jeez.
So back in like early Marvel for the first like 25 years, Rick Jones was just this dude who was everybody's sidekick.
Ah.
Everything. They're probably going to retcon it and say like he was everybody's like houseboy, like lover and stuff or something like that. But
I love
anyways.
it when Scott says something and I always have to ask him what it is, and he gets so mad every time.
Rick Jones has been everything from maybe even currently. I just don't,
That's the
I don't
way
see
it
him
is.
showing up, but like he's still around. I mean, like he's been everything. So everybody's sidekick.
Thank you.
So are we letting you go, Michael?
Yep, I'm going to hop off with that. Thank you guys so much. Nate, I love you, buddy. We'll talk.
Love you too, bud.
And thank you guys so much for everything. That's all I have to say.
You're welcome.
I really
Bye.
appreciate everything.
Take
Have
it
a
easy,
great
Michael,
evening, sir.
and we're here for you anytime.
Thank you, Dirk. I appreciate it, guys. But seriously,
welcome.
thank you so much. Enjoy those free copies of Duckbill I sent out.
Yes.
Dude.
Take it easy, guys.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. All right.
I'll hang
I'm
out for a bit.
so excited about
in
that.
lieu of
That-
Mike.
Okay, cool. Jerry says we love you, Michael and Nate. You good guys. So there
Thank
go.
you.
Sure, there you go. All right. Our first topic here is the states that play the most Dungeons and Dragons. Someone did like a survey. I don't even know how the heck they did this, but they said that there's 13.7 million estimated D&D players, and here are the states in order of who plays D&D the most. Number 1 is Utah, followed by Idaho, Oregon, Maine, Vermont, Alaska, Washington, Montana, New Hampshire, and Kansas. Oklahoma is number 12. And apparently all of the states in the Northeast are at the low end of the scale. So to our resident game expert, I'm just curious if which is you, Scott, Do you think, does this comport with what you have seen, where like maybe in the middle of the United States and the Northwest, that gaming is more popular, or is this just D&D?
I don't know. My answer is I don't know because I don't care. I just play games. My educated guess on this is like, if I lived in California, I'd probably have to have like 3 jobs. So I don't have time to go role play with my buddies or stuff like this. So I would say maybe the cost of living has something to do with it and population. I mean, like, all I know is every time somebody moves in from New York or something like that I befriend, they think it's always super boring in Oklahoma. What do you do? There's nothing to going on. So they like the hustle and bustle. So like, maybe it's just we're bored here. So we're like, hell yeah, I'll go venturing. I'll go into some dungeons. I have nothing else to do.
You think so? That's it? You think people are bored?
Well, I mean, in some ways, I mean, like, if you lived in New York and you were paying like $3,000 a month for a 1-bedroom apartment, I bet you wouldn't just be working one little job for 40 hours a week. You know, I don't really know. I don't have any guesses or any way to think about this. My other thought is like, I was curious if maybe like where, like, you know, the Bible Belt type states and stuff like that, if there's like some escapism, like, we're not supposed to like demons and these things, but God dang it, I want to go over here and I want to slay the demons. I want to live vicariously through a character. I mean, we've all role played with the guy who like plays the female character like he just got a fresh set of boobs and he's exploring his body because like he's so excited to be like, oh, I can act out on this and stuff like that, and vice versa. We had a friend back in college who wanted to play a dude character,
right,
and she pretty much wanted to like grind and hump anything like a little dog that
she just was the worst.
Dropped. So so it's role playing. It's a fantasy. So maybe there's just more
That's
time.
why it's so big in Utah. You know, there's so like
right.
There
Utah's
you go.
number one, folks.
So Mormon out there. You know,
it's
but like they need an escape. You know what I mean?
It's not a knock on those people. It's just a thought.
For sure.
I don't know at all. You know,
Utah is a very specific place, though. You know, you're either like riding mountain bikes through the rocks, or you know, you're.
I will say this. I would really love to know, like, per capita, if those people are like faithful or spiritual, because I always tell people, if you know, do you believe in ghosts, Dad? Well, not necessarily, but if I'm going to believe that there is a God and a mythical being, then I have to leave the option open. Like, I'm the open-minded believer. You know what I'm saying? Or, Dad, do you believe in aliens? It's like, well, I don't know, but at the same
giants
time,
in the Bible.
Anyways, if you're going to believe and have faith in something, it would be crazy to not believe that other things could exist. And it's fun, right? I mean, like, even if you don't like spiritual or religious stuff, the subject can be interesting. So there's no difference here. So anyways.
Sean, what do you think, man?
I have no clue.
I'm going to eat a cookie still. I'm going to put myself
Ooh,
on mute.
cookies.
I mean,
my daughter just brought this to me.
We saw her shadow.
Yeah, we did.
Are those fresh cookies? He's on mute. Go
yes,
ahead.
sir. These are fresh.
Cool. Wow.
I was introduced to D&D back when I was 11, 12, something like that. So, I mean, we were a small group of nerds. Everybody else had, you know, sports or farming, horses, whatever, you know, hay. There was just, you know, who knows what makes the region more popular. You can consider population density. You can, you know, I mean, you said Washington. I'm assuming Washington State, not Washington.
Not DC, no.
Although that would be hilarious.
Yeah, these are states, so.
I could just see, you know, the entire Congress sitting over there going, roll a 13. Anyway,
Sean, you just made a great point, though. Or at least I had a great thought off of what you just said. You know, a lot of these places, you said other people were playing sports and stuff like that. You know, I remember you said when I was young I played this. My grandma didn't want me to play this, so it became the foreign thing. But I didn't play D&D. I just bought the Marvel superhero role-playing game that was made by the exact same damn company, and she had no problem with it. So when you tell somebody no, you're more inclined to go to it. And maybe back to what I was saying, maybe those locations say you shouldn't be doing with this, you're messing with the devil, and they go, okay, let's go for it. So
Back in the 80s, I would say that was probably the case. Nowadays, I
don't know.
That's not.
But
the case
even when I was a kid, like Harry Potter was witchcraft,
right.
like late 90s, early 2000s. So yeah, there's probably some truth to that. Where like Harry Potter, just a wholesome kids story, was the devil's work.
I wasn't allowed to read Harry Potter when I was younger. I didn't
Right.
read Harry Potter till I was 18 or 19.
See, I don't remember
I wasn't allowed
anybody.
to.
I don't remember anybody complaining about reading the books, but literally the moment the movie was announced,
There were a lot of people that were upset about the magic in Harry Potter.
and they were lined up outside the movie theaters, and they were chanting all of their fire and brimstone and
The same moms who got all wet when they went to go watch Team Jacob or Team Edward.
Twilight.
Those people.
Yeah.
Don't speak bad. Don't speak ill of that.
probably the same ones that
I said moms. You're not a mom, CaseyJane.
I'm a dog mom.
Those are the worst ones.
I'm sure they're all the
Watch
same
your
people
tongue.
that
Just don't say fur babies.
that
God, I
bought
hate
the
that term.
balcony seats for 50 Shades of Grey and all of that. Yes, I have no doubt. But what have you?
I'm getting
That's
so
all.
attacked.
Nate, what do you think about why is it that it's happening here in the Midwest and in the Northwest, which is strange?
I agree with you guys. It's kind of got to be like a cultural thing where maybe there's not as much to do. You mentioned a lot of states where I think you said population density is probably not that high. That's got to be something to do with it. Kind of like you said, Scott, you're not going to be paying $2,500, $3,000 in rent. You've got time, a hobby, which is excellent. It's got to be something in, maybe there's not much to do. I don't know socially or culturally what the factors would be between like Utah and Iowa and Washington. But
it's not just
there's probably just less going on, so people can pick up hobbies like that.
Not to mention how expensive is D&D. I mean, you buy a couple
It's
a couple of
expensive
books.
now.
Right, but that's a one-time investment. You play 17 times with your friends.
That's true.
All anybody's got to do is bring some sandwiches and some soda. And
That's true.
Yeah.
It's cheap once that initial investment's over.
Or a whole bag of groceries, like our friend Steve Eckert used to do, because he didn't want to run out of food. He wanted to feed the army. He was like role playing Jesus. He would just give you some food.
So
have a tray of cinnamon rolls.
If you're in an area where you can either go out, spend $150 a night just entertaining yourself, or I can call up my buddies, spend $15 on some sodas and some chips, and we can all play for 17 hours.
Walt makes a great point too here. Walt just made a comment. I was thinking to myself, with these predominantly white areas, meaning like families of different culture that come in on the coasts and stuff, maybe they cohabitate there and their family's important, they're working hard, whereas as privileged white people are like, I want to go slay a dragon and hump a maiden, so let's do it tonight.
It's a fantasy fulfillment.
Maybe. I mean, I don't know. It's interesting.
I think it's interesting that, Washington, Oregon, those are very liberal states in general, but have probably sparse populations around there. And then you have fairly conservative states like Utah and Kansas. So I don't know. It's difficult to draw the line between all of these states and stuff. I just think it's very interesting that you can, if you look at the map, they have a map on this article. all of the states that are into Dungeons and Dragons they touch. There's like a United States of Dungeons and Dragons, and I think that that's very strange. You'd think that maybe Florida would scoot in there or something, but it's just not the case. And I think it's just interesting.
Too many mosquitoes and alligators in Florida to worry about.
and people on bath salts turning into zombies and stuff. I
they
mean,
got real stuff to worry about there.
They've got Florida man to worry about.
Yeah, exactly.
Every absurd crime comes from Florida, so they're busy. They're busy down there.
CaseyJane, what do you think?
I will say I find it interesting how you said like Northeastern doesn't have much, but I see 3 Northeastern states on this list that you gave us, and it's funny because Maine, Vermont, New Hampshire, I've been to all of them. I usually go to all of them at least once a month. There is nothing to do there.
Okay.
See?
So I'm gonna assume that's why there's nothing to do except during wintertime ski and drink, during summertime go on the ATVs and drink, which is I do all of those above depending on the season. There's nothing to do there, so I can understand that. But yeah, I don't know the reasoning. I'm not into D&D. I've never participated in D&D. I've just watched my friends' sessions. So
You've watched D&D?
Yes, I have. I've watched actually a few different campaigns. They're called campaigns, right?
Yeah, you're on target.
Okay. I've watched a few different ones.
I think that you enjoy role-playing.
No, I don't. I've tried like a role-playing game. It wasn't exactly D&D, but I don't like it. It's not for me.
It's just make-believe.
You don't like it.
But here's the thing. I'll do it in a video game. I'll do it in a video game perfectly fine, but for some reason, like talking it out and just doing I don't like it. I don't know.
All right. Well, CaseyJane, we're going to move to the next thing, which is catching up with CaseyJane.
Well, hello. I know it's been a while since I've been on the show, huh?
Yeah. Tell us I've asked a few times, but you were always busy with stuff. Tell us what's going on.
I'm back in school.
Are you?
Yeah.
Tell us what you're taking.
It's my last year of grad school.
Yep.
So I've been doing that. I'm working full time, in school full time.
Wow.
I sleep maybe 3 to 4 hours a night.
That's plenty.
Yeah. No, it's not.
Oh my gosh.
No, it's not, Scott. But yeah, that's what I've been doing. I just started playing New World. That's a really fun game.
Tell us what that is.
So it's the new Amazon game. It's a new MMO. I couldn't tell you what the actual story is behind it. I don't think we actually know. And if we did, I don't know what it is.
Okay.
But it's fun. It's chore simulator, as I like to call it, pretty much.
It's a what?
It's like a chore simulator.
You're doing chores, like you're washing clothes and doing dishes?
No, I'm chopping down trees. I'm chopping down trees. You have to mine things.
Okay, right.
And then things like that. It's a
that
new
sounds
World
fun.
World of Warcraft.
It's a new World of Warcraft.
It sounds like another job.
It is. But yeah, that's what I've been doing. I saw the new Venom movie on opening day, and I'm upset.
Yeah.
So no one else knows this except Dirk. Should I tell them what was supposed to happen?
Yeah, go ahead.
I was supposed to go to the Venom premiere and be on the red carpet.
Yeah, what happened to that? Yeah, I know. Yeah,
we had to pull out because of COVID.
Are you serious?
Mm-hmm.
Your chance to be on the runway during the big premiere.
And this company, I don't want to put them on blast because I still work for them.
Right.
We had to back out because of COVID. I got my passport and everything because it was in London.
Yeah, it was overseas.
Mm-hmm. And I had to pull out. I was supposed to be on the red carpet for Venom.
Told me about this and said, keep this under your hat.
Mm-hmm.
But this is really seriously gonna, they're
I had
serious
my
about
dress
getting her
and
out
everything.
there. And
Well, that's a shame.
I had a dress. It was a black dress, and then I was going to have my hair. I was going to wear a wig, because why do I ever do my hair when I could just throw one of my wigs on? Half black, half red for Venom and Carnage. And
Solid.
then they had to pull out.
what was the dress?
It was just a one sleeve, just ball length gown. Just
I'm
simple,
sorry
but
that was it because it was in London. Are their rules so damn strict over there?
yeah. And then the company was just like, "Hey, we can't go anymore. We can't
It's
do
no
it."
surprise. It's no surprise. But what a shame.
Sucks.
Well, at least it wasn't in Australia.
I mean,
That's true.
you're still working with the company, though. It's
Oh
possible
yeah, absolutely. That's why I'm
could,
not naming them.
I mean, it's possible that and it's not their fault. I'm sure that the situation just wasn't good for that. So maybe they keep you in mind for something coming up.
I hope they do more Marvel collabs. That'd be great.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah.
You said you had a new setup there. Tell us about that.
Oh, I got 3 new monitors. I have my PC all done. I don't know. I just got a new desk. I have an L desk, and I moved the position in my room. I have new lighting. I have a new mic. I think that's it. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. Now my background is like all blurry.
I'm about to say you have a blurry background and you have some candles in there, so you kind of have the Scott Prime look there.
Candles are always approved. So
It's a Halloween one. It's Ghoul Friend.
We
What
can't
does it
really
smell
see it
like?
because it's blurred.
Come on. I don't want to pick it up. The mat.
I understand.
When I put my hand over here, you can see. There it is. There it is.
There it is. Yes, yes.
what does it smell like?
Yeah, that's what we want to know is what the smell is.
I can't describe that. I don't know.
Like
Pumpkin.
candy corn?
No.
What are the notes?
What are the notes? Nate
Guys,
with the win.
That's
Yeah,
not.
what are the notes?
It's sweet. That's all I can tell you. I don't know what it is.
All right.
Pumpkin spice.
No, it's not pumpkin spice. That's on my
I'm
other.
telling you guys right now, I'm going to die from like inhaling too many candle fumes, and they're going to be like, "Well, you must have really
It could
loved
happen.
candles." And I'm like, "Yeah."
Here, well,
Yeah,
now,
all day.
I'm gonna get it up. I'm gonna give you guys the exact what it's supposed to be.
Wow.
All right, this is important.
Walt thinks pumpkin spice. Everyone is on the edge of their seat, frankly.
I'm going orange cranberry, like fall.
Wow.
Yeah.
Scott is
loaded.
obviously into candles.
Oh,
Is it vanilla?
No.
It's like orange vanilla.
Why did?
Like it's like
Soda.
Okay.
it's like
wow.
Cedar
love-
Dream. It's like a hamster cage.
I love their description for it. Dark strawberries, ghostly peony, spine-chilling citrus, and with natural essential oils. What kind of a description is that?
That's one way to say that we took like body sweat of somebody and
It's
threw
a
it in
grab
this candle.
bag.
Yeah.
It's a grab bag.
They just put all the extra flavors in that candle and fluffed it up for you.
Walt says bacon and eggs.
Yo, that just smelled great.
Be a good one.
I have a blueberry waffle one that Jennifer got me. It's pretty amazing.
Ooh, I still never played
It's
World of
strong.
Warcraft with her. I'm still sad.
She
about
hasn't
it.
played lately at all with her new job, unfortunately.
You said you saw the Venom movie. What'd you think? Or is that your on blast?
Oh my god. Oh, I'll do that for on blast.
Okay.
Keep the viewership.
Scott, you want to
That's how you
talk
keep
about
retention time.
where you were a couple weeks ago?
Where I've been my whole life. I joined the Moore High School marching band this year.
Wow.
And by joining, I didn't know that like these parents did all this stuff. So once again, I'm in my, late 40s here, and I'm calling my parents and my mom and my dad and saying like, "Oh God, I didn't realize all the bullshit you did for me, and this really sucks." As a kid. No, my daughter's in the marching band, and we do they do this thing that they call Mom Fest, which I'm not like. Somebody's gonna watch this and they're gonna go, "Oh, he was poo-pooing Mom Fest." I don't like the name because it sounds like an arts and craft like festival for moms and daughters. It's the more outdoor music festival, shortened to Mom Fest. I get it. And it's like a big time fundraiser that they do every year for the band kids and stuff. And like all the parents, it's all volunteer work. And I didn't know this, but so I come from a sports background. So like if you said it's a track meet, but for band kids, then my brain works. So what it is we put on this event. We invite these schools to come in. We had like 14 or 15 schools come in. The whole like campus of the Moore High School turns into basically like a state fair. Like you have, Blanchard gets this area to set up their camp for their kids and this and that. Volunteers started at like 5 a.m. in the morning. I worked 5 a.m. till 10 a.m. I could have volunteered all day. And you know what? Hats off to the parents at that school, because some of them were there.
You said 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. You mean 9 a.m. to 10 p.m., right?
I'm sorry. No, 5 a.m.
Okay.
is when the first shift started till 10 a.m. Sorry.
Okay, right.
that they had like these little shifts broken down so that you can volunteer and stuff. I took the early morning shift. I took a break so I could come home, rest, and maybe like try to unsunburn myself because I'm pasty white and the sun's out. So you know how that is. And then I went back from 2 to 6. Some of these parents have hats off to them. They were there at 5 a.m. They were there after midnight cleaning up the stadium and stuff. So what it is it is like a track meet that these bands come and do these competitions. They get judged. They perform a couple of times, and then our kids can't participate in the event because they're help running it. So they had a practice run at like 10 o'clock at night just to kind of get the judges' scores to see kind of where they're at. So when they go to another band meet that they could compete in, so they know where they're kind of at. And then they parade all these bands out and they hand out the awards. And I think it was a really cool thing. I didn't know like this stuff existed, but like there was 14 bands there. Well, somebody has to come in last place. Well, they still give them a trophy, which I think is good because these kids have worked hard on this stuff, and it's really awesome. I wish I could show you guys. When they get these trophies, the little drum major people come out in their little costumes, and they do this like acting little gimmick thing where they do something every time before they go take the award, and it's amazing. I thought I was watching like multiple scenes out of like Dragon Ball or something like that when they first introduce like character and he's like, don't you know who I am? I am the Amazing Jacko. And like he's like, oh, this is awesome. And I love this moment so much that I said something about Dragon Ball in the crowd, and these dads turned around and they laughed because they got what I was talking about. No joke. I took over building the hot dogs and hamburger place from this person, and he would have they'd say hamburger, and this guy would start building them. Well, I've worked in food before, so like I started like, why don't you go take a break? And I started taking over. Boom, 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 boom. I loaded the hot dog machine 4 different times. It held 48 hot dogs. It was loaded when I started my shift at 2 o'clock. So that means we sold close to 250 hot dogs in 4 hours. We sold over 125 hamburgers in that time as well. And we were just hopping the whole time. The line always had people in it. There was never a moment where there wasn't kids in line. And what's amazing about this is like these bands set up camp for their kids where they cook out for them and everything else. This just shows you like teenagers, right? You know, you eat lunch at 12, you have a snack at 1 o'clock, you have a snack at 3 o'clock, and you have dinner at 6 o'clock and then a snack again. So we were constantly hopping. And long story short of this is it's a fundraiser. So they were hoping to get like 14 to 18 grand was their goal. And that day we as a unit raised 25 grand. So it was pretty incredible thing. The parents were super proud of what they did. They told us all this stuff, like other schools said, like, y'all put on a great show. You did an excellent job at this and that. And I thought that was just, whatever. They're just being nice. I went to a band concert this last weekend, or another band meet this weekend at a different location that I'm not going to say. It wasn't bad, but I can see the difference was really was night and day difference. So like, it's crazy though. Like you think you just go and all these parents are sitting in the stands. Well, when the band is announced, they chain up the stands so everybody has to sit their butt down so nobody gets in the way of these band things. So you have to stay in your seat, and you're locked in for the next 10 minutes as the band performs, and then they unchain the seats, and then you can get up and do whatever you want because they want the judges to see everything. They have little judges rotating around, talking the whole time in this mic, probably talking to somebody who's like, they didn't line up well here, deduct this many points.
Taking notes.
I don't know, but it's a kind of cool thing, something I never have been exposed to because I've just been a sports guy, and it was 30 years ago, right?
They're crazy. Yeah.
I mean, the kids were having fun. The Moore thing was great because I got to my daughter volunteered some of her time and stuff. There was even a couple hours that we worked together because she was done with her shift, and I said, well, you're gonna have to stick around because dad has his shift. And so she came in there and started helping. And like, the thing I enjoyed the most is like from a distance as a father, you get to she didn't know how often I was actually watching her. And when the biggest compliment I can give is like when you watch your kid when they don't think you're watching them and they're not a dick and they're a good person, that makes me feel like I'm doing something right. And it's nice to see that because trust me, there's plenty of little, how teenagers are, and we were all one, and somebody usually gets picked on and stuff. So watching that from afar was really fun. And like her excitement when she came up and goes, Dad, I got a number, and all this stuff. So she met another kid there and stuff like that. So anyways, it was funny. It was hard work. I was exhausted. I don't know how the other parents who were there from 5 a.m. to midnight survived. But I also had to put in my next Sunday. The next day I had to go work the comic store. We had a Magic pre-release. So I was busy doing that. So for 2 weeks, I didn't get a day off. So from my real job and my other part-time job and the volunteer work. So it was just a busy time. So that's what I've been doing lately. Other than that, I don't know what else to tell you. I went to a Dragon Ball Super trading card game. I went up to Tulsa with a crew of guys. We played in the regional to have a chance to win an invitation to nationals. That's in Pasadena, California. I went up there, and I'm not very good at that game, but I like playing it. And I ended up, through tiebreakers, I finished 9th. I won 2 games. I tied 2 games and lost none. And I just barely missed the top 8 by just fractions of tiebreaker points. So, I did the best out of all our crew. We took 10, 12 people up there from Norman Moore areas. So, I was pretty proud of myself. So, surprised myself. So, anyways, I've just been busy with band stuff, life stuff, everything else. So,
Scott, I have a question about the band stuff. So
sure.
does she go on a band trip every year?
So what I'm told, there's a band trip for the seniors that's every other year. And in the past, they've gone to Disney World. They've gone to Chicago, stuff like that. So she's digging the thoughts on that. So it's so expensive. It's so expensive. So expensive.
So if she goes on that, I'm gonna have a talk with her, because we are winning her an Esprit de Corps award, because I went on those same exact trips when I was in high school, and that is the most that's the best award. You don't need first place, you need the Esprit de Corps.
Okay.
So I'm going to teach her how to get that.
Wow.
Okay.
It's all school spirit.
All right.
And,
Well,
they
we got.
literally judge you on your school spirit. Are you nice to the other schools, and just how you work with other schools, even though you're competing with them. And it is the prettiest award. It's the best award. So I might have to have a conversation with her so she can get that.
Well, thank you. She's just a freshman, so we still got time. And,
Perfect. Even better.
Teenagers are trying to figure out themselves. I mean, next year she might not even like it. I don't know. I'm not putting pressure on her. I want her to enjoy these times and figure herself out. But this last band concert, I was the old man in the crowd who's sitting there. And some kids from McAllister, I'll call them out on this. Some kids from McAllister were making fun of other bands. And then our band started to come out, and they started they only have this many drums, and they only have this many this. And I finally, Jennifer is seething mad over here. And I'm like, what? And she's like, aren't you hearing this? And I was like, are they talking about us? And she said, yeah. And I was like, hey, you guys might shut up, because there might be some parents here. And boy, they got really quiet really quick. and I know they're thinking, that old man, but still. Did you know? So this is another thing I learned, and nobody else probably knows this, and it probably doesn't matter, but I'm going to talk about it anyways. So for sports here in Oklahoma, we have 6A football, we have 5A football, et cetera, based off population. They reclassify the bands here in Oklahoma, at least. So Moore is a 6A school for football and sports because of population. Band-wise, we're 3A. I did not know this.
We had that.
Yeah, Again, I was not exposed to it. So, anyways, I'm learning a lot of stuff. Okay, good.
Sorry.
So it's everywhere.
I wouldn't say in Texas, it's whatever classification your school is what your band is.
Yeah.
Because when I was in band, the high school I went to now is 5A, I think. But when I was there, we were 4A, and we were just a 4A band. And I don't think we had that many members. I can't remember what it was now, but we competed at the 4A level. And so everybody had to be on point. But it's funny. Because I don't have kids or anything, but I remember doing all those band competitions and band events, and my dad didn't do it, but my mom was at all of them and worked all of it. She was a band booster and all that stuff. So it's funny to hear.
There you go.
It's a full-time job.
The other side of that story. Yeah.
It's crazy. There's some of these moms
for this work.
There's some of these moms, they can't have a real job because they do this band booster stuff all the damn time.
Yeah.
I mean, it is a full-time job, and I'm like, don't talk to me anymore about it. I'll just give me a job to do. I don't, I don't want to hear about all this stuff. I don't want to sell meat sticks, and I don't want to go out to eat at this restaurant because they give 10%. That's the funny thing. I get mad all the time is like they say, go eat at this restaurant. They're donating $10 to the band. And I'm like, just give the band $10 because your food is not going to cost you $100. You donate more money by just giving them $10 straight out of your wallet than spending $50, and 10% of 50 is only $5. You know, like people don't do math, and that makes me mad. I'm old. Anyways.
It's so funny because I kind of became one of those like band parents because obviously not a mother, but I will go back every year to my high school and I help with all like the concerts, the fundraisers, whatever.
There was a lot of alumni there.
I was the president of our music department my senior year, so even like after that, like I still go and I help out. Like I do the tech most of the time for the concerts, so you'll see me just like shoot across the stage, like trying to get from something from point A to point B. It's like, so I know what that's like. It's a lot of stuff to do.
I'm glad Nate and like Casey's been in band, so it can like I felt like I was ranting too much, and now they have something in common. So.
I was
absolutely.
a choir kid. I was choir.
First trumpet, Waco High Marching Band. You know, good times.
Walt says he was a band nerd. CaseyJane chimed in on that. Jerry says Scott's your great dad. Jesse chimed in and said, checking in, good conversations, guys and lady. And Walt says that in Allen High School in North Texas is a 600-member band, the largest in the world.
Oh my!
600.
That's a lot of
I mean, there are
people.
some schools that don't have 600 students.
That's crazy.
I think we're only like 64.
All those North Texas schools are just loaded with students. Every single one of them, they're just loaded. There's so many people there in DFW. It's crazy.
I'm going to throw out a subject real quick. Let's do the lightning round on this.
Sorry, we distracted you.
You're all right. James Bond is going to be recast next year, and a lot of people want Henry Cavill. So just kind of a thumbs up or thumbs down. And if you have someone else, just tell me who you'd rather have. Let's start with Sean.
I think it's cool. I'd like to see him slim down a little bit. He's a bit bulky.
He is a big Bond.
He's huge.
For Bond.
He's huge.
Yeah.
He's got the height, but he's probably got about 75 pounds of meat that he needs to trim off before he can pull off what Bond is typically supposed to be.
How about how he was in the Mission Impossible
Immortals
movie?
See, Mission Impossible, he's still bulky.
Still too big.
If you look at him in the movie The Immortals, that right there is probably where he needs to be.
He didn't look like that in a long time.
No, but that's about where he needs to be.
Walt says Tom Hiddleston. I agree.
I wholeheartedly disagree.
I've been screaming that Hiddleston needs to be the next Bond for at least another.
He's so suave.
So he's your
suave.
pick.
Sorry, Johnny Wise, another ink drink thing guy. He'd hate it.
After I saw him,
he doesn't like Tom Hiddleston.
Hates him so much.
Oh. Really? What? Why?
We're gonna have a conversation.
Just really quickly, we did a Loki episode where Johnny claimed to draw a portrait of Tom Hiddleston, and he drew this like creepy snake lizard Loki, and he said this is exactly what Tom Hiddleston looks like. Hates him.
Wow.
In his defense, Loki did turn into a snake to scare Thor.
Right.
So he's not wrong.
Yeah.
I would probably cast Hiddleston as what is it, Snape?
I love
from
Idris Elba.
the Harry Potter.
Oh, he would be a good Snape.
Too old.
But yeah, that would be my pick. I'd put Hiddleston in the role. I think he's got it all.
I think the Rock. Let's put the Rock in there.
Oh, good Lord!
The Rock would be great in anything. Yeah.
See,
Bond, great. Yeah.
Wow.
I'm going to counter
He's
you. I'd put Roman Reigns.
British.
He can do an accent.
No, he can't.
Get a coach.
What about the guy?
If you smell what
about
Bond
Andrew Lincoln
is doing?
You smell what the Bond is cooking.
Andrew Lincoln?
Yeah.
Too small.
He's British. Too small.
Too small.
Not meaty enough for you, and the other guy's too meaty.
James Bond is
You want your Bond just right.
James Bond is described in the books, I believe, at 6'1", about 170 pounds.
Yeah, they were written a long time ago, like when knights were like 100 pounds, and those were the biggest people in the world.
Knights
written
were
that
never
long
100
ago.
pounds, and that was just a terrible analogy. Gotta
Laugh.
The Bond was described in the books by,
Ian
the writer
Fleming.
as being 6 foot tall, a very inconspicuous looking person. He was a spy. He was supposed to
was a
be able to
spy.
blend in. I'm sorry, Henry Cavill cannot blend in anywhere in the
Kinda sticks
world.
out.
How much did
Too
you say you
swole, too
weighed?
good looking. Yeah.
Henry Cavill,
No, but how was Bond described? How
he's
much did you weigh?
6'1", and I want to say 170 pounds or
Cavill's
close
got
So
to
to
be
it.
might
about
I
235,
recommend-
250.
Uh-huh.
Might I recommend Robert Pattinson, who is 6'1" and 165.
Robert Pattinson.
His forehead's way too big.
Wait a minute.
At
How
this point, Robert Pattinson is going to be too busy doing Batman crap.
how old?
to-
How wait a minute.
Ideally,
Where
he
is
does
Pattinson
2 more
from?
Batman movies.
Pattinson is from 1 minute. I have this up.
He's too
There's
young.
there's no way
London.
that they're
He's from London, England.
okay. There's no way that you're going to get a Bond that's outside of the UK.
He's from England.
Okay, I'm just saying you can mark
I
everyone.
want Adam Driver.
I don't care. People were talking about the guy.
He's
who
going
was
to be
in-
playing Rambo. We're not going to get
the guy who was
get-
in
Yeah,
Mad
yeah.
Men.
Yeah.
Who's the guy who was in Mad Men? Who
Tom
was the
Hardy.
star-
Venom.
Are you
No, Mad Men.
Oh,
Paul
Mad
Reiser?
Men, John Hamm.
Paul
No, I thought you
Reiser?
said
Hamm.
Mad Max.
Ha-
John Hamm, yeah.
was mentioned, but he's
Paul Reiser.
he's a Yank. There's no way that
Paul
he's going to get
Reiser.
the
Oh, that's mad
Paul
about you.
Reiser.
Yeah, the star of Mad About You, Paul Reiser.
Lord.
It'd be great.
no.
Helen Hunt could be
I would
Q.
watch the shit out of
She
that.
could be the old Q, right? Isn't that
Yeah.
the old lady with the gadgets, Q?
No.
Oh, that's Star Trek. Who's the lady
No,
with the gadgets?
There isn't a lady with the
There
gadgets.
isn't a lady
It's
with
a
gadgets.
dude with the gadgets.
No,
His name's Q.
who's the old lady that was in the other James Bond movies? Or am I thinking something else?
You are
It's
thinking
It's the guy with
something
the
else.
gadgets.
Jeree likes Robert Pattinson too.
I knew Drury understood me.
There
I
was
like-
a
I like Tom Hiddleston just to throw in my.
they had
hat in
a
the ring.
female M, and they
M.
had
That's who.
not
Helen
not,
Hunt will be
not
M.
gadgets. M would be the boss.
Yeah, that's who I want Helen Hunt to be.
Right.
She seems bossy. She straps it on.
I think they're probably sticking with the same M that they have, which is I can't remember her name, but she's pretty awesome actually.
She's been dead. So
Oh right, she died, and then what's his name took over.
Gray Fiennes.
Thank you.
You did
Any
great,
other
Sean.
any other choices for Bond, or have we solved it?
It doesn't matter. They'll still be hit movies.
I just hope Henry Cavill, and I know it's not going to happen. I just hope Henry Cavill's busy doing one more Superman movie for us. It's not going to happen.
He
but,
is going
you
to be
know.
in the Flash movie, and he's talked about.
Is that confirmed?
Or no, wait a minute. I'm sorry. What's his name? Batman is going to be in the Flash.
Yeah, I know
movie.
Ben Affleck's going to do it. I want more
Right.
Henry Cavill. He's not my favorite, but
I
I
do
just
too.
want more.
I do too.
I just want more.
I
I
think
thought
he
he was
got
a
a raw
great-
deal there.
I thought he was a great Superman. I wish Brandon Routh would have gotten a lot more.
Me too.
a lot
me
more
too.
Superman, but
I like that guy
Yeah, Brandon Routh's great.
for sure. All right, we're moving on to On Blast. All right, we're going to talk about stuff that we consumed. We either read it or we watched it. Movies, television, books, comics, whatever it is, something that you want people to know about. And for that first, I'm going to go to Scott.
Everybody get my stuff. All right. So, if you have been reading or have you heard about Jonathan Hickman's run for that, he's kind of revamped all the X-Men books, and he's had some kind of out there ideas. I mean, like, I don't know if X-Men will ever be the same. I don't know if anybody here is reading these books for the last couple of years, but it's been amazing in some regards. Like, there's moments. There's also moments where you like some books are not so great, but like as a overarching thing that's lasted now a couple of years, it has been interesting. And from the get-go, I decided to, as long as I could afford it, to buy every title, because like every month, and I'll kind of show you here. I think I've talked about this before. There's like a checklist in the back of the books, and like the books are not all connected, but at the same time, since I've been reading them in order, they also feel kind of connected. So what I want to talk about today is like, I think this is confirmed, but I haven't read the article. People at the comic book store was talking, because I'm starting to get like, I don't know if I should read every book, and they're like, it's almost over. Inferno kicks that off. So if you remember, Inferno was the big like demon story of like, it's a big crossover back in the Marvel 80s, late 80s, with like X-Men, X Factor, went into some other books. Like cars came to life and were possessed by demons and attacked Jarvis from the Avengers, stuff like that. Anyways, it was a big crossover. Well, this book has the same title as that old crossover thing, but it's totally different. And this, I don't really want to give this away, but I felt about this book the same way I felt about that issue where they had the big reveal about Moore McTaggart. I think it was called, I don't know, of House of X or something like that. It was number 2 of whatever series that was that launched the stuff, a couple of years ago. Maybe House of M number 2, where they had the big Moore McTaggart reveal and stuff. This takes those. It's the same story. I'm like, this is the bookend. That was the beginning. Here we go. And something I've been telling readers from the very beginning of this stuff, and I guess I can reveal it. If you read the very first stuff, you find out that Moore McTaggart's a mutant, and her mutant power is she has X amount of life. When she dies, she starts over and she's reincarnated. And so from the get-go in that very opening issue, Destiny...
And she remembers her former lives.
She remembers her former self. So she's in this constant battle of trying to change the tide so like everything doesn't end terrible for mutants and stuff like that. And we're on the like 10th set of that life, and it goes back and it talks about like one of her early lives where like the Brotherhood of Evil Mutants, Destiny, Mystique kind of really mess her up. And it says, once again, I was telling everybody, because they were like, X-Men's never going to get reset, and I said they have an out, because Hickman said that she lives 10 or 11 lives. Mm-hmm. And the series is set, I believe, in her 10th life. And I was telling everybody at the comic store for years, they have one more. If they wanted to reset X-Men back to the X-Men before all this started, where there was no all this technology and all this stuff, all they had to do is kill Moore McTaggart. She wakes up and we're right back to the Marvel Universe that we were 4 years ago. And everybody thought I was crazy. Well, it might be coming in some form, because they mention again, this mutant has 10 to 11 lives, and it talks about it here. This is a great issue. This is an alternate cover, but if you read those beginning books, at least go pick up this one. I can't recommend this enough. It has beautiful art. It has beautiful story. There's a lot to take in. It's probably really something I should read again myself. So that's the series thing. And then I found this over at Speeding Bullet Books and Comics. This is it has the Scholastic imprint on there for like a graphic novel. This is a Spider-Ham, great power and no responsibility. And it looks like a kid's book because it kind of is. Love it. But as you probably know, if you follow me at all, I love Spider-Ham. And it's drawn very cartoony and it's in nice comic format. But let me tell you something. Look at that. The Hobgobbler. This book is about as close as you're going to get to those 80s comics. And this was well done. They bring back all the little Animorph characters that were in the Star comics back in the 80s. This feels just like it did back in the day in the 80s. So if you're a fan of Spider-Ham, this is a great... Somebody did their homework instead of just saying, I'm just going to do a story with a pig that's a spider and move on. It pulls out all sorts of characters from the old series. It sticks with them. It doesn't make up new, villains like I said, the Hobgobbler. It doesn't make up a new version and calling him something else. It's using those same kind of, those parody characters that they used back then. So this was really good and well worth my time. This was $8.99, but it's a thicker book. Yeah, it's made probably for kids, but let me tell you something. At $47, I still enjoyed this. I liked this better than Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle Last Ronin number 3 came out, or maybe it was 4. It doesn't matter. That book is really like kind of went down in my eyes.
Wow.
Issue 1 was incredible, and every issue I've cared less and less. For $9, I'd rather read another one of these than Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Last Ronin. I really enjoyed this. That's why I told Robert at the early moment, I didn't see any other store pick this up. I'm sure it's out there at other stores, but Spitting Bullet Books and Comics, they kind of sometimes overcarry books. So that's the place I go to if I miss books at other stores, but at the same time, they have some great little gems there. So check it out, Spider-Ham.
All right. Let's go to our guest next, Nate. Tell us something that you watched or read lately.
Yeah, I've been trying to catch up on a book that I started weeks or months ago. Grindle, Kentucky. It's an upshot book that Tommy Lee Edwards drew. It's written by Jeff McComsey, and it's Grindel from Beowulf.
Right.
It's kind of like there's a Grindel monster in Kentucky in the 70s, and there's this biker gang that's got to like go up against this monster. It's a great book.
Cool.
Nice.
I mean, I bought it because Tommy Lee Edwards drew it, and I've been trying to like catch up on that. This is the this is the 4th issue.
There you go. Grindel,
incredible
Kentucky.
stuff.
Right.
Absolutely incredible stuff.
Cool.
But as far as like things I've been watching, I've been really bad this year about watching things that are coming out. But I caught a movie that came out last year that I kind of heard about called The Empty Man. I don't know if anybody's watched The Empty Man.
I have not seen that.
It's on HBO Max, and I watched it last week. And I watched the trailer before I watched the movie, and it presents itself through the trailer as kind of this dumb creepypasta movie, like a Slender Man or a Bloody Mary kind of a thing, where like teenagers do this dumb ritual and then get attacked by whatever it is that they conjure up. The movie is not that story at all. It's one of the last movies that I think 20th Century Fox put out before they were acquired by Disney. And it kind of kept me guessing. It's really, really well directed, well written. It's based on a Boom Studios graphic novel.
Oh.
I think called The Empty Man. And really, really good watch. Very impressed by it. It's from a guy who learned under David Fincher. I think he did like some DVD documentaries or special features for David Fincher movies for like the last 2 decades.
Cool.
I can't remember the director's name, but really gorgeous looking movie. Fox threw money at this movie, and it shows. No real recognizable names. The lead actor, he was in the HBO series The Pacific. I can't think of his name right now. But just a really impressive kind of horror thriller movie. I was sort of blown away by it. I didn't expect much. I thought I'm going to put this on, and if I fall asleep, it's going to be okay. And then I was just glued to the screen while I watched it. It was really, really good.
Yeah, I'm intrigued. I wrote it down. I'm going to check that out.
Yeah, watch The Empty Man if you haven't. It's good. It's good.
Cool. All right, CaseyJane, you're up. You're muted.
I know.
Okay.
Oh God. So for video game wise, I've been playing New World. We talked about that earlier.
Mm-hmm.
It's really good. It's been taking up a lot of my time. Movies, I just saw Venom again. Amazing. I liked it more than the first one. I'm not going to give any spoilers, but I liked it more than the first one.
Cool.
And Venom is just as hilarious as he was in the first one.
How was Woody Harrelson as Carnage?
I think it was pretty good.
Carnage is in this?
Yep.
It's in the title.
It's Let There Be Carnage.
I know, I'm joking. I'm trying to make
Oh my. Hey, you're so funny, Scott. For books, so I haven't been on in a while. So I got these for my birthday. Brandon got these for me. It's a bunch of the Disney reworked villains.
Okay.
And it's like kind of gives like a backstory. They're so good. They're so pretty. But yeah, so I read all of these within like a week.
Holy cats.
And Scott said I didn't read.
Wow.
Didn't read comics.
comics.
I do not read comics. That is true.
Yeah, you're
I
highbrow.
will be.
You're highbrow.
We got your first one coming.
I know. I'm so excited. So I'll let everyone know my review on that when I get it.
Yeah,
we
yeah,
gotta
yeah.
know.
But yeah, that's all I've been doing, and then working school.
All right.
There's no time for sleep.
No kidding. You're working like crazy.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Sean, you're up. I know what you're going to cover here because you got the screen up. When you're ready, you just tell me. I was hoping you would cover this.
I haven't read a whole lot lately. Just been working. Working on pages, working on logos, just working. But
do you have one of your pages?
Not to where I can share it.
Oh, okay. I mean, it wouldn't hurt to just hold one of those up and let people see what you're doing sometime.
I don't even have one near me.
Okay.
Sadly.
We'll do it next time. That's cool.
But
let me just say that Sean's stuff is looking really good. I'll leave it at that.
Yeah, I'm friggin' awesome. Anyway, but I did take a small break, and I say a small break while I was working to watch what everybody apparently in the world is watching, which is Squid Game.
So good.
Mm-hmm.
If you haven't seen this, the basic premise is you have a group of individuals who are kind of down on their luck or just made poor life decisions, and they have an opportunity to financially get themselves out of it by playing 6 children's games. Unfortunately, if you lose the game, you lose your life. This harkens back to some of the other great, in my opinion, movies like Battle Royale.
Mm-hmm.
You can throw Hunger Games in there if you like.
Mm-hmm.
The the premise of you can either work as a group or in certain cases you have to work against each other. It was just the show, because this is a show. It moves beyond the game. It does get you into the heart of the individual. This is very much a character driven story, and some of these people you can't wait to see how gory and defiling their death will be, and some of them you're just begging that they find a way to survive the game. Once I completed that particular series, yes, I binged the entire effing thing. I also watched another show on Netflix called Alice in Borderland.
I was just going to ask if you've seen this as well, because I was going to recommend it if you liked Squid Games.
I literally binged this entire thing right after I watched Squid Game. I knew that the premise was similar, and so I kept that theme going. Finished this again. Really cool characters, a really cool setup. I thought definitely different in the respect that instead of our competitors joining a game, our competitors are placed with the option to play a game in this kind of alternate. I don't know. I honestly, they've not answered any questions. It's absolutely agitating me. I don't know if they're in a different universe. I don't know if I don't know. I don't know what is going on. But I couldn't stop watching the show, so that's got to be something.
Something to that.
I binged that entire series, and I'm eagerly awaiting both of them for a second season. So, rock and roll, great shows. If you haven't watched them, if you're on the fence, I say go for them. I think they'll entertain you. Both of them, quite a bit of Squid Game has a bit of gore. Alice in Borderland, not as gory, but just as deadly. Yeah, enjoy. I found them both very, very entertaining.
Which did you like better?
I don't know. I really don't know. Because Alice in Borderland agitated me so with no answers whatsoever. And yet, not having those answers, I really dug it. The characters I found in Squid Game were far more relatable, but the characters in Alice in Borderland, I found them more entertaining. So it's it's really kind of just whatever mood you're in. But both of them I thought were absolutely fantastic. I will probably run through them at least right before the second season starts. I'll run through them again, if not before. Yeah, I too saw Venom on opening night, and I did not have as favorable an opinion as you, but
Oh, you didn't like it as much.
I did not.
Oh no, the first one was so good. That's a bummer.
See, I would dare disagree with that. I was not very happy with the first one either.
Not looking forward to the second one.
Really?
One of the things that agitated me about the first one is I have this character who is a gelatinous superhero fighting in the dark in the rain against another gelatinous creature. What the shit am I looking at? Because we're moving around and everything's fast, and it's like, which one is the hero? Which one's I can't keep up with what's going on. This is too much eye candy. And
Right, the bad guy was the dark gray, not the black one.
Right, so it's like
So different.
And then they're merging and they're beating the crap out of each other,
Right.
and it's like, you're hurting my head. And then in this
It
particular
was a
one,
fun movie, but
it was fun.
Yeah,
I mean,
nothing incredible.
but
Right.
the story wise, it felt like it was missing something. And in this one, again, the only saving grace, in my opinion, of the first one was Tom Hardy. I think he's a fantastic actor, and he's just a great guy. Same thing in this one. There was a lot of just convoluted situations, and it's like, why are we doing this? Why is this happening? Why did you do that? Which one are we fighting? I can't tell what's going on. I know that there's red here and there's black here, but now they're kind of conflating, and I can't tell who's going where and what. It was just a pain in my ass. But in any case, I thought Woody Harrelson. I dig Woody Harrelson in a lot of roles. I thought he was fantastic in Midway. Obviously, Natural Born Killers. Cheers. He was absolutely hilarious in this.
That's quite a range.
In this one,
Yeah, he's good in all of them.
Yeah, he's a good actor. I have no problem with him, but he just seemed really mopey and really, dare I say, pathetic for being this feared serial killer.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and it's if he was going to, I think if he wanted to emulate a serial killer, look at footage of Bundy. Look at footage of Manson. There was nothing pathetic that they exuded.
Are you talking about King Kong Bundy and
yes,
Cactus Jack Manson?
Yes.
Marilyn Manson.
All of
Manson.
Well, those are two great pro wrestlers from the World Class Championship Wrestling days.
You're absolutely correct, and I'm going to stop talking to you. He seemed like a weak character to be going up against Eddie Brock and Venom, and so everything relied on Carnage to carry the villainy of that show, and it just, again, much like the first one, it felt like it was lacking.
That's because Venom sucks. I hate Venom as a character.
I was a huge fan back in the day.
It looks pretty, but I think he's lame.
Scott, I will fight you in hand-to-hand combat.
He's a solid design. Yeah.
You young lady, I read the whole Donny Cates Venom stuff, and it was the best Venom stuff we've had in years, but I still didn't like it because it's Venom.
I'm still gonna fight you nonetheless.
Venom's a pretty design. Mike and I, we did Sue Lee's stream on Thursday, and it was Venom week, and it was fun. I haven't drawn Venom in probably years, so it was fun to kind of explore that design. But I agree, like Venom's not a great character, and I don't like him as an individual character and not just a Spider-Man villain.
He needs to be part of a group. He needs to be He needs to be what I would consider like the Hulk in the Avengers. He needs to be part of a collection.
My favorite
Wasn't
Venom.
Savage Avengers.
My favorite
Hulk
Venom
can stand on his own.
Right,
Venom can.
but if you
Yes, he
watch
can.
the Avengers movies, he was a good support for the rest of the characters.
Right. Yeah, I
And-
see what you're saying.
And I think that's what Venom needs. He's not
my
not a strong
favorite
enough character as an individual. He needs that support or
Yeah.
to be that support for other characters.
I agree with that. My favorite Venom was when Matt Gargan actually had which is the Scorpion villain, had the Venom costume in Thunderbolts when Warren Ellis kind of took over and had him around there and stuff. So I believe that's the right writer. I could be wrong on that. But to me, the Matt Gargan Venom was the best incarnation of Venom throughout the history of the Venom, going back to, Spider-Man who had the costume. But that's just me, and I know I'm just different in that aspect. But CaseyJane, I have 30 issues, the latest issue of Venom. If you want to buy them from me, I'll give them to you half price, half cover price. If you want them,
There we
just
go. We're
PayPal me.
hawking comics.
I kind of might.
You bought
actually
one
do that if
tonight,
you're
buy
serious.
30.
Wow.
No,
Buy
if
30
you're
from
serious,
Scott.
I actually will do that.
Wow. You have
I
a
think
sale.
We'll talk later.
We'll discuss.
All right. Let's go to promo time. And we will start with Nate. Just tell us where to find you.
Yeah, just Instagram at Nate B. Wells _art, Twitter at Nate B. Wells, and then the Heartland Blood Kickstarter, the address that they flashed before. We've got a couple more days to raise a little money. Again, I can't speak enough about the response that we've gotten. Mike and I have been blown away by it. We've had some extremely generous backers.
You guys have been blessed on this deal.
Oh, absolutely.
But rightly
absolutely. Yeah, thank you. We've been, like I said, we've been blown away, and we hope that we can get all 4 issues out, and we're excited to get the 22-page first issue out. Yeah, we're going to be doing vampires for a minute. And thank y'all.
Hey, there's some great art over there, like original art that you can get still.
Absolutely, yeah.
This only has a couple days left. I mean, to get in on this thing for $5 is insane. So, I mean, get on
Like I
there.
said, we wanted to keep it to just comics prices. We didn't want to charge $20 for one issue because, like I said before, we wouldn't want to pay that, so we didn't want to charge anybody that. We didn't want anybody to just be doing us a favor buying the book.
Yeah.
We wanted you to buy the book, and that's it.
Well, I say get the first issue because this thing is going to blow up, I think.
Oh,
So
thank
get over
you.
there,
Yeah.
Get over there and get it right now in the next couple of days, because then you're going to be getting like second printings or, have to read it digitally or whatever. So spend the $5 and get the real thing. You got 2 days left.
It's just $5.
I mean, yeah, come on. The price of one latte.
Right.
Yeah, you're going to spend more than that on lunch or dinner. I mean, dear God.
For sure. God, when did everything start costing $15?
Dude, you got to get out
Everything's
more.
$15.
You got to get out
$15.
more. You got to get out of that house.
Dude, I just went to Dallas. I've been here
Everything's
twice.
$30 in Dallas. Yeah.
CaseyJane, what about you? Where can we find you?
You can find me on Twitch, Twitter, and Instagram. All of them are at Little Miss Fury. And yeah, keep it simple. You gotta keep it simple.
Wow.
You always say that every
You're so
time.
quick.
It's everything is the same. What do you want me to say?
Hey, you know what? I appreciate, as someone who helps people with marketing and branding, I appreciate that. That's good. Instead of being, 14 different iterations of Little Miss Fury, you just put it all in the same deal. You see how helpful that is? Good job. All right,
you.
Scott, you're up.
All right, you can find me if you're interested in the product called Blood Bowl. I do a Blood Bowl podcast over at bothdown.com. We just released a new episode last night, so you can get caught up with us on all things Blood Bowl. Other than that, you can also catch me. I'm on Facebook, Scott Prime. You can go over to Twitter, Real Scott Prime over there. I'm everywhere. You can go to Ranking Studios if you really need to get a hold of me, but the best place probably is reach out to me through Twitter or through the Both Down podcast.
All right, Sean.
As always, you can find me at rankingstudios.com. That's rankingstudios.com. Rankingstudios.com. Feel free to check us out, myself as well as Scott and Dirk and Robert Henry, who was on the show at the beginning. We have portfolios for you to look through. We have Dirk and I have commission pages where you can find us and give us your money so we can draw stuff for you.
Yeah.
Also, feel free to drop us a line on Ranking Studios to just let us know that you're liking what we do or hating what we do. Doesn't matter. I like to talk to people. You can also find us at Facebook /Ranking Studios. Again, feel free to stop by, say hi, say bye, say whatever you like. I'm lonely.
All right, there's my deets. I went out to OFCON this last weekend and represented Ranking Studios out there. Met a lot of people, some old friends and some new friends. It was a lot of fun. Did a lot of networking. And that's kind of what I did over the last weekend. Also, I'm for better or worse, I'm doing Inktober. So if you follow me on all these things, you'll see my Inktober pieces. I'm behind, but I'm catching up. And I am having fun with it. But we'll see how that works versus as I get further into the month. Like I said, I'm already behind, so I'm probably in trouble. We got a comment here. All right. Michelle says this is the best show that we've done, in her opinion. They're well done. And Scott says because he was on the show.
Naturally.
It helps.
Let's say thanks to Michael Pickard for being on the show and Robert Henry for being on. Thanks to our guest, Nate Wells. We sure do appreciate you being on, and you're welcome back anytime.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me on.
We'd love to have you on again, and I think that there are some people who chimed in there who would like to hear your voice again.
I'd love to come on just in voice only.
There you go.
In the future.
Just put up the audio.
Fans. Yeah,
that's good stuff.
No, I'd love to be on again though. This was a blast.
Cool.
Always welcome.
Great time had, Bob. Thanks to CaseyJane for chiming in again. We sure do appreciate
Yeah, nice getting you back on.
Getting caught up with you.
Glad to be back. Sorry it took so long.
Telling us your stories and stuff. I know you're busy. We tried to get you on a few times, but we always appreciate having you on, so thank you.
Of course.
Thanks also to Scott and to Sean and to all of the people who were watching us out there. We do appreciate you chiming in on the show and liking and sharing this thing wherever you see it. We do appreciate that as well. So for all of us here at Taskforce Geek, until next time, this is Dirk Hooper saying, dream hard.
Bye.